Welcome to Chinese Novel Audiobook. Chapter 61 Nine Tails Kurama. Chiyo is dead. The death of a strange woman actually made Minato so sad. Obito asked knowingly, "Sensei, what happened?" Minato sighed and said, "Well, I might as well tell you. Kushina can't hold on any longer. She said that in half a year at most, Nine Tails would break out of her body, but I don't want to see her die like this. But I have no choice." The feeling of powerlessness made Minato extremely uncomfortable. Minato added, "As everyone knows, Nine Tails is the most powerful tailed beast. It is also the most violent and unruly tailed beast. We also need to find a Jinchuriki for it." Obviously Nine Tails was about to kill Kushina, but they still had to find a new home for Nine Tails in order to prevent Nine Tails from wreaking havoc in the ninja world. This frustrating thing gave Minato a headache. But there was nothing he could do. Obito said, "Sensei, do you think I can become the Jinchuriki of Nine Tails?" Minato was stunned. He looked at Obito in surprise. "You want to become Nine Tails Jinchuriki? Why?" Obito said, "As the teacher said, Nine Tails is unruly and difficult to control. However, it is the strongest tailed beast. So, I want to control this power." Minato's eyes became dim. "When Kushina can't hold on any longer, I'll come and call you. I believe you can harness the power of Nine Tails." Obito said, "Master's wife doesn't have to die because Nagato used the human path to absorb Chiyo's memories." Minato's eyes widened in surprise. "Really?" Obito nodded, "Yes. Without further ado, let's go. It is not easy to perform the Jisei Tensai technique. Shisui must first learn Jisei Tensai, and then control White Zetsu to infuse vitality into the target." That's what Obito thought. This is totally feasible. Kushina and Minato came to Konoha, Minato's home. Kushina fell to the ground in pain. The riot of Nine Tails made Kushina extremely painful. Minato felt heartbroken when he saw this scene. He picked up Kushina, looked at Kushina's haggard face, and said, "Kushina, we are not Jinchuriki anymore." Kushina said dejectedly, "I don't want to be one either, but I have no choice. I have been a Nine Tails Jinchuriki since I was born." Obito looked at the haggard Kushina and said, "Master, let me become Nine Tails Jinchuriki." Kushina looked at Obito. Can you?" Obito nodded, "Trust me." Kushina held Minato's hand. She closed her eyes tiredly, and said weakly, "As you wish." Obito looked at Minato. He said to Minato, "Sensei, when the master wakes up again, she will no longer be Nine Tails Jinchuriki." Minato nodded. "Obito, I trust you." Hear this. Obito's heart suddenly wavered. The teacher trusts me, but what did I do? In order to achieve his goal, Obito even took Minato into account. Obito suddenly felt a little hesitant, as if he was drifting further and further away. After a brief moment of hesitation, Obito reaffirmed his belief. In order to create a perfect ninja world, all of this is worth it. Obito came to the Kamui space far away from the ghetto statue. Obito said to Minato, "Sensei, please remove the seal." Minato's hands were shaking a little, and he nodded, "Okay." The next moment, Minato's hand was on Kushina's stomach. Then Minato whispered, "Eight-sign seal, unlock." In Kushina's spiritual world, the door that was originally locked suddenly opened. Nine Tails opened his violent eyes. "Nine Tails, break the seal." The Uzumaki clan has such a strong vitality that they won't die in a short period of time even if the tailed beast is extracted. Looking at the huge monster in front of him, Obito said to Minato, "Teacher, take the teacher's wife to find Shisui. Shisui will heal her mother." Minato nodded. Then the space twisted, and Minato and Kushina disappeared from where they were. In Kamui space, only Obito and the giant Nine Tails were left confronting each other. Looking at Nine Tails, Obito felt a little crazy in his heart. This was the tailed beast he had been dreaming about. Feeling Nine Tails' chakra, Obito could sense that its chakra was countless times higher than his own. If he had Nine Tails' chakra, Obito wouldn't have to worry about chakra anymore. Before Obito could speak, Nine Tails bared his teeth and yelled, "Where is this? Damn it! Damn it!" Obito said, "Kurama, can we talk?" Nine Tails yelled, "Talk about shit. Lousy gets annoyed when he sees your eyes." Quote. Obito asked back, "Why are you bothering?" Because he was ruthlessly defeated by Uchiha Madara. Because he was enslaved by Uchiha Madara. I have the same eyes as Madara, but I have never enslaved you. And I call you by your name instead of Nine Tails. Can't we just talk about it? Nine Tails grinned, "No talk." Lousy said, "When he sees your eyes, he gets annoyed. You humans just want my chakra. Only then would they be so hypocritical as to negotiate with me. Lousy, I will never trust humans again." Obito looked at the arrogant Nine Tails, and then came to his feet. Nine Tails stepped down. However, it penetrated Obito. Obito jumped up, then touched Nine Tails' leg, and the next moment, space moved. Nine Tails and Obito are still in Kamui space. It's just that the location is different. Nine Tails was furious when he saw the Geto statue in front of him. He bared his teeth and yelled, "How could you have such a thing?" Obito waved his hand, and the Geto statue opened its mouth. The purple chains in its mouth were ready to go, scaring Nine Tails so much that they dared not move. Obito asked Nine Tails, "Can you talk properly now?" Nine Tails' face was cloudy and uncertain. Obito said again, "Now you can listen to my negotiation, right?" Just when Nine Tails was about to give in, he saw the crowd of onlookers nearby. One Tail Shukaku looked at Nine Tails in a mean way, as if waiting for him to surrender to Obito so that he could laugh at him harshly. Nine Tails looked at Shukaku, "You damn raccoon cat, why are you here? What the hell is this to you, stinky fox?" One Tail and Nine Tails have never gotten along. And now, for Nine Tails to surrender to a human in front of One Tail, this is simply impossible for Nine Tails. Mainly is One Tail. Obito asked, "Kurama, can you please talk to me? Otherwise, watch out for my chains." Nine Tails felt like he had something stuck in his throat, unable to utter a word. Until the chain slowly moved in front of Nine Tails. Nine Tails then shouted, "What do you want to talk about? Tell me, tell me." One Tail the raccoon cat smiled. With eyes narrowed into slits, he looked at Nine Tails. Chapter 62 I regret. When had One Tail ever seen Nine Tails look so defeated? The Geto statue naturally has a bloodline suppression effect on the tailed beasts, and the Geto statue can easily seal the tailed beasts. Look at Nine Tails' ridiculous look. Although he was extremely scared of the Geto statue's chains, he still had to pretend to be calm in front of himself. Look at Nine Tails' claws that are still trembling slightly. Shukaku wanted to laugh because he saw his own shadow in Nine Tails. He himself was terribly afraid of the Geto statue, and seeing Nine Tails in the same state, Shukaku felt indescribably happy. After all, there was already a conflict between Shukaku and Kurama. Nine Tails is the tailed beast with the most tails, while One Tail is the tailed beast with the least tail. Therefore, Nine Tails often looked down on One Tail, and thus the conflict between the two tailed beasts arose and became increasingly intense. Obito doesn't care about the love and hatred between the two tailed beasts. He looked at Nine Tails and asked, "Now, can we talk properly?" Nine Tails nodded firmly, "Okay, lousy, will just listen to what you have to say for now." Shukaku, okay, your whole body is soft, but your mouth is still hard. You are really good at pretending." Obito said to Nine Tails, "Be my tailed beast. I'll be your Jinchuriki. You lend me strength, and I will give you freedom." Before Kurama could refuse, Obito said, "Don't rush to refuse, you can listen to me. If you agree, from now on, we will have a contractual relationship. You only need to give me chakra when I cast the spell. You can listen to my plan. I want to rule this ninja world and merge all the villages into one. Don't you find it fun that you helped me accomplish such a meaningful thing? Your power is great, and great power should be used in the right place. So, I need you." Nine Tails was a little tempted. He didn't believe Obito, but he was very interested in Obito's plan. It must be very interesting to unify the ninja world. Nine Tails asked experimentally, "What if I refuse?" Obito smiled, "If you refuse, I won't waste your power. I will let the Geto statue absorb you." Nine Tails smiled with his fox mouth, "Actually, I think I can trust humans for the last time." Obito nodded, "Don't worry, I won't let you down." Nine Tails extended his claws and clenched his fists. Obito also extended his fists and bumped fists with Nine Tails. It was with this punch that the enormous amount of chakra merged into his body. Nine Tails transformed into a beam of orange light that flowed into his body. Obito smiled as he felt the huge amount of chakra in his body. He himself was now Nine Tails' Jinchuriki. In the other side, Shukaku left quietly. It doesn't want to stay here, because Nine Tails is now someone else's Jinchuriki. If Nine Tails says something bad about it inside Obito's body, wouldn't it be very difficult to deal with? So Shukaku ran away. It continued to go back and play with the sand, which was quite interesting. In the corner, Terumi Mei, who was watching this scene quietly, was so angry that she wanted to bite her teeth. What is Nine Tails? What is the most vicious tailed beast? You have no ambition at all, why don't you fight this B************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* lousy is fierce, not stupid. And Obito suddenly came to Terumi Mei's side, and he suddenly said, have you seen enough? The sudden sound startled Terumi Mei. She said to Obito angrily, you are so elusive, you are going to die. Obito scoffed, haha, I can go wherever I want. Obito saw Terumi Mei and what he said to Terumi Mei. If you want to leave here, there is another way. Terumi Mei asked hurriedly, what method? Obito showed an evil smile and looked at Terumi Mei for a few seconds. She had a curvy body, which would be a waste if she wasn't used. Seeing Obito's aggressive gaze, Terumi Mei became extremely alert. She subconsciously covered her chest and took a few steps back. But it's no use. Vines grew from the ground and wrapped around Terumi Mei's limbs. She exclaimed in surprise, wood style. How come you know wood style? Obito said disdainfully, there's so much you don't know. Terumi Mei struggled desperately, but wood style absorbed her chakra as nutrients. Gradually, Terumi Mei gave up struggling. A panicked look appeared on her face, Uchiha Obito, you can't do this. What can't I do? Terumi Mei gritted her teeth, then asked Obito, are you really going to let me go? Obito nodded. Terumi Mei closed her eyes as if accepting her fate. Obito used the Sharingan hypnosis on Nine Tails, and then brutally tore Terumi Mei's clothes apart. A huge roar came out. Dot 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 dot. Dot 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 dot. After a long time. A tear flowed from the corner of Terumi Mei's eyes. She was the high and mighty Mizukage. Had she ever thought that she would lose her innocence like this? For Terumi Mei, this is something very sacred. She was going to leave it to her husband on their wedding night. However, now Obito has reaped the benefits and got there first. The vines dissipated, Obito threw her a dark blue cloak, and then Obito ate and drank his fill and prepared to leave. Terumi Mei called out to Obito, and she said to Obito, okay, let me out. Obito smiled slightly, I regret it. Then Obito disappeared from the spot. Meanwhile, the noble Mizukage's defense was broken. She cursed at Obito without caring about her image. But it didn't work. Obito couldn't hear anything. After a while, 2 bottles of drinks and a piece of sushi were thrown in from outside the Kamui space. Terumi Mei started swearing at Obito again. After doing something so outrageous, he still had the nerve to send himself food. Damn it. Dot 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 dot. Chapter 63, Some Strength. Outside world. Obito walked in the rain shinobi village, letting the raindrops fall on his body. Kurama, why are you defending against me too? Obito, not used to having an audience. Kurama, but I'm a fox. Obito, I don't like living things watching. Dot 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 dot. Perhaps a good agreement was reached with Obito. This also made Kurama much less hostile towards humans. Looking at the various residents on the road, Kurama just smiled. Then, until a little girl came over and handed Obito an umbrella. Nine Tails was moved. In its impression, Obito is a devil who will do anything to achieve his goal. But, there are people who actually care about demons. This is unacceptable to Kurama. Because, ever since the death of Sage of Six Paths, no one has cared about me anymore. But, as both are bad guys, why do people care about Obito? As if he knew what Kurama was thinking, Obito looked at the little girl's back and said. Do you know what was here before? Kurama, I don't know. Obito said, this is the battlefield of the Third Ninja World War. Originally, this place was littered with corpses, and people from the big country oppressed them. But, because of me, the people here live and work in peace and contentment, and because of me, the people here are respected. Maybe, in the eyes of other villages, I am not a good person. However, in the eyes of the residents of Rain Shinobi Village, I am their savior. It was me who saved them from the pain of war, and it was me who gave them the life they have now. Kurama suddenly asked, you think you are great? Obito was stunned, and then didn't say anything. He looked into the distance, then opened the umbrella the little girl gave him and slowly left. Perhaps because he felt guilty, Obito did not dare to look for Lin. He went directly to the base of Akatsuki. Then, Obito looked at Shisui and asked, how? The illusion you cast on Haitu. Shisui nodded and said, I won't miss. Then Shisui seemed a little confused and said, why let hypnosis Kuritsuchi, wouldn't Yellow Earth have a better chance of becoming Tsuchikage? Obito said, trust me, it will be Kuritsuchi who will become the Tsuchikage. The seeds have been planted, just waiting to take root and sprout. Iwagakure strategy plan, start. Itachi and Kisame went to deal with 4 tails Laozi. Pain 6 paths to catch 5 tails. Dot 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 dot. At this time, on the other side. Kurigakure. Kurigakure is a little different from other ninja villages. It is also one of the 5 most powerful hidden villages, belonging to the Land of Water and founded by the first Mizukage. Kurigakure has a unique culture. Located deep in the mountains, its territory is often covered by thick fog. It is a ninja village completely isolated from other countries. The top leaders of this village are strong, but successive Mizukage have done something weird. The 7 ninja swordsmen, some ran away and some died. Especially the 4th Mizukage's bold move, which brought Kurigakure into the Blood Mist Village era. This also caused Kurigakure's strength to plummet. Even ninjas with special bloodline limits were massacred on a large scale. Therefore, there is no senior management in Kurigakure now. The only high-ranking one is Mizukage Terumi Mei. But now, Mizukage is gone and the group is leaderless. Ao returns with Chojiro's body. Mizukage's whereabouts are unknown. Kurigakure, Ao has the final say. 2 voices were fighting in his mind. One voice was that the whole country should use its strength to rescue Mizukage, just like when they threatened Konoha back then. The second voice is, don't act rashly. Send an envoy to negotiate peace with Rain Shinobi, pay whatever price you can, and get Mizukage back. In the end, Ching chose the second option. He sent a ninja as an envoy to negotiate with Mist Shinobi and Obito. And Obito's side. He was in a hurry to conquer Iwagakure. However, before conquering Iwagakure, it is necessary to weaken Iwagakure's power. For example, the tailed beasts. 5 Tails Jinchuriki is called Han, he is the Jonin of Iwagakure, 5 Tails Jinchuriki, and has 5 Tails Kokuo sealed inside him. Pain looked down upon Han who was practicing. Then, Pain extended his right hand. Universal pull. The sudden attractive force made Han Feng confused. He quickly steadied himself and looked up into the air. After seeing the stunning red cloud cloak, Han was thrown into confusion. Oh no! Akatsuki Organization. And its Pain. Many years ago, when Pain destroyed half of Iwagakure, Han witnessed Pain's strength with his own eyes. Han's first thought was not to defeat Pain, but run. Then pass the information to Tsuchikage, telling him that Akatsuki has invaded again. Kokuo Shi 5 Tails. Its power is immense and unstoppable. However, its Jinchuriki's first thought was not how to defeat Pain, but how to escape. In this respect, the Han dynasty fell behind. It's not Han's fault, after all, Pain's reputation is so terrifying. Every time I see Pain, the image of the super god tier Luo Tianzheng appears in my eyes. This makes Han have an innate fear of Pain. However, Han could not escape. Even with the power of 5 Tails, he couldn't escape. The outcome of the battle was no surprise. Pain defeats Han. Then brought back the Rain Shinobi village. In the other side, Lao Zi, Kisame and Itachi also met on a narrow road. When Lao Zi saw the 2 people, his face was full of vigilance. Akatsuki Organization. Kisame hoisted Samahata onto his shoulder. Hehe, you have some vision. Lao Zi said, give up, I will not join the Akatsuki Organization. Itachi was confused, and so was Kisame. Kisame laughed strangely, then said to Lao Zi, how can you be so confident that Akatsuki will invite you? The news that your Akatsuki invited the rebel ninja has spread everywhere. And I am also 4 Tails Jinchuriki. Although I am not in Iwagakure, I am not a traitor. Therefore, I cannot join the Akatsuki Organization. Itachi lost interest, and he said to Kisame, you can handle it alone, right? Kisame smiled, don't worry, Itachi-san. Leave it to me. Kisame looked at Lao Zi, sorry, Akatsuki won't invite you. But Akatsuki will take away the tailed beast from you. This is also your only role to us Shao. Capture the tailed beast. Lao Zi narrowed his eyes and then suddenly spat out a large mouthful of lava style. This is not 4 Tails lava style, but a mixture of the old purple fire attribute chakra and earth attribute chakra. A huge lava style fireball rushed towards Kisame. Kisame started the same thing. Absorb and devour all the chakra on lava style. Then, Kisame rushed towards Lao Zi, raised Samahata and smashed it towards Lao Zi. Lao Zi frowned and shouted, Sun Wukong, give me strength. In an instant, Lao Zi was wrapped in lava-style chakra. A tail also appeared behind him. After obtaining the power of the tailed beast, Lao Zi's strength increased greatly. Then, Kisame was actually sent flying by this blow. Kisame let out a strange laugh after landing safely on the ground. Then quickly sealed a seal. Water style, who cares about repairing it? Suddenly, Kisame spit out a large amount of water, which directly wrapped Lao Zi. Lao Zi looked at the differences in these waters. It is possible to perform water style on such a large scale in a place without water. As expected of a member of Akatsuki. It seems that I have to be serious too. While Laozi was fighting Kisame, he was thinking about Itachi. Because Itachi hasn't made a move yet. Even Kisame calls Itachi Mr. Itachi. This is enough to prove Itachi's strength. Laozi was thinking that he had to defeat Kisame quickly and then focus on Itachi. But Laozi overestimated himself. He can't even beat Kisame, let alone Itachi. After a short fight, Laozi lay in front of Kisame. Kisame grabbed old Murasaki's legs and said to Itachi. Mr. Itachi, this old guy is a bit difficult, but not much. ... Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Chapter 64, The Poison of Ghosts. Iwagakure has two-tailed beasts. They are 4 tails and 5 tails respectively. Then, they were all captured and taken to Rain Shinobi Village. Obito looked at the unconscious old Z and Han. Then Obito held down the heads of both of them. Kamui. The next moment, the space distorted, and Obito came to the Kamui space with 2 unconscious Jinchuriki. ... Shukaku, who was playing with sand, was stunned. Then he looked in the direction of the ghetto statue and said, 2 more guys are coming. How interesting. In the other side, ghetto statue spewed out a chain from its mouth and forcibly pulled 4 tails and 5 tails out of the 2 people's bodies. Sun Wukong. Damn it, how dare you treat me like this? Kokuo. That's right, when have we ever been treated so unfairly? Just when they thought they were about to be sucked into the ghetto statue and die, the chain stopped dragging. 4 tails. 5 tails. Asterisk. Why did it stop suddenly? Son Goku and Kokuo looked towards Obito in the air. 4 tails asked, Human, are you the one who dragged us out of the Jinchuriki's body? 5 tails shouted angrily, this is unforgivable. I also feel the vibe of 1 tail in this space. Wait for the 3 of us to kill this unforgivable human together. 1 tail. Don't take me with you if you want to brag. I won't go. The corners of Obito's mouth rose slightly, and then Obito said to the 2-tailed beasts, Son Goku. Kokuo. You know, irrational beasts often like to hide their fear by roaring loudly. Of course, I didn't say you were beasts. But why do you tailed beasts suddenly say so many irrelevant things? Quote. 4 tails and 5 tails were so ashamed that they didn't know where to put their heads. Damn, if it wasn't for the damn chain of the ghetto statue wrapped around our necks, would we be so panicked? 1 tail couldn't suppress his curiosity. Come and see 4 tails and 5 tails surrender. There is no way. The ghetto statue is naturally able to restrain the tailed beasts. There is nothing that can be done about it. So 1 tail expected that 4 tails and 5 tails would submit to Obito. They are both spineless tailed beasts. Unlike me, 1 tail, I saw Obito's potential from the very beginning. I followed Obito willingly and I was not forced or bribed into submission. For some reason, as 1 tail is the first tailed beast to join Obito, he has a slight sense of superiority in his heart. And just as 1 tail expected, 4 tails and 5 tails looked at Obito and they said in unison, what do you want from us? Obito said, lend me your strength. When I need your strength on a daily basis, you come forward to help me. Normally, you can move around freely in Kamui space. 4 tails raised an eyebrow, are you asking us tailed beasts to submit to you? How could we, the tailed beasts, submit to humans? Quote. 5 tails also said, impossible. 9's voice suddenly came out from Obito's body, if you want to become the nourishment of the ghetto statue, you can refuse. 4 tails was a little confused, 9 tails. Why are you here too? 9 tails. Delta, can't Lousy be here? 9 tails gave the 2-tailed beasts a way out, and 5 tails said, 4 tails, since 9 tails has surrendered. Then we will surrender too. Don't lose face for the tailed beasts. 4 tails nodded, I think you're right. Then the 2-tailed beasts shamelessly joined Obito's camp. There is no other reason. The ghetto statue behind Obito is the weapon to subdue the tailed beasts. Obito left the Kamui space. 4 tails and 5 tails looked at each other. They saw 1 tail hiding in the corner and peeking. 5 tails said gloomily, Shukaku, did you see everything just now? Shukaku came out and laughed, hey, you 2 spineless things, I knew you would surrender. 4 tails said, then why are you here? Shukaku coughed, ahem, this is not important. Come to think of it, I am the first one to come to Kamui space, you 2 can call me big brother, I will lead you 2 in the future. 5 tails raised his eyebrows and looked at 4 tails, beat him. 4 tails nodded, beat him. Shukaku. ! How could you do this? Wait, don't hit me in the face. Terumi May hid behind the feet of the Geto statue and watched the scene in confusion. Obito actually got 2 more tailed beasts. Besides, aren't all the tailed beasts very cool and aloof? Why do these 3 tailed beasts look like idiots? Outside world. Obito put on a new dark blue robe. Then carry the Uchiha fan on your back. He found Orochimaru. For some reason, Obito felt that Orochimaru's aura became even gloomier. Behind him, purple-black chakra tentacles floated from time to time. Obito asked Orochimaru, "You fused with the worm?" Orochimaru chuckled, "Haha, you figured it out. Obito, looking like you are now, it's hard for me not to notice. Why can't you control the power of the monsters?" Quote. Orochimaru chuckled, "Haha, the poison of the monster is too terrible. It is constantly eroding my body. This poison has greatly weakened my control over chakra. So, Obito, I can't perform surgery on you for the time being." Obito frowned. The operation had to be done. Obito said, "How should we treat it now?" Orochimaru said, "Hehe, now there are 3 options. The first plan is to catch some Katsuyu and let it heal me every day. The second option is for me to believe in the evil god and gain the same immortality as Hidan. The last option, and the best option, is to learn Sage Mode and use natural energy to suppress the poison of the monsters." Obito was silent. These 3 options. Only the third one seems to work. First, go and capture Katsuyu. When the time is up, she will go back by herself. Moreover, the wet bone forest among the 3 major inheritance places is also the most mysterious one, so this plan is difficult to implement. The second option is to believe in evil gods. What the hell is this plan? Believe in evil gods and become an idiot like Hidan. Therefore, only the third option can be adopted. Then learn to eat in Sage Mode. Obito asked Orochimaru, "Sage Mode, can it suppress the poison of the demon in your body?" Orochimaru nodded, "Yes, the curse seal in Jugo's body can suppress this poison. However, the purity of his curse was not enough. So, I can only learn Sage Mode by myself." Obito asked, "Is it urgent?" Orochimaru said, 1 week. After a week, the demon poison will cut off the connection between my body, soul and chakra. Chapter 65, 10,000 snakes are stunned. Obito also asks Orochimaru, "Any holy place will do." Orochimaru nodded, "Yeah." Obito nodded, he still remembered that he left the Kamui mark on Mount Myoboku. Obito said, "Come on, I'll take you to Mount Myoboku." Orochimaru smiled, "Hehe, okay." The next moment, space distorted and Obito and Orochimaru disappeared. Although it is important to conquer Iwagakure now. But Orochimaru is the most important. Without him, Obito would not be able to gain the power of yin and yang. In Mount Myoboku, the sky is clear. 2 or 3 toads were resting in scattered places. Great Toad Sage rests on a giant leaf. Ever since he forced himself to see the future and saw that Otsutsuki, he has been blind. But now that I'm blind, I can't see that kind of mess. The Great Toad Sage seems to be more alive. He seemed to have taken a heavy burden off his shoulders and looked younger. But, at this moment, the laid-back Great Toad Sage frowned. Because, for some reason, he always had a bad feeling. It was as if something dirty was coming to dirty Mount Myoboku. It felt as if a rat dropping had fallen into a pot of rice soup. He didn't know where this feeling came from, but he just had this feeling. Suddenly, the space around the Great Toad Sage distorts and Obito arrives with Orochimaru. Great Toad Sage, Sigma Odo no. Obito smiled at the energetic Great Toad Sage. "Great Toad Sage, you look good lately." The Great Toad Sage looked at Obito in confusion. "What the hell are you surrounded by? What the hell did you bring to Mount Myoboku?" The Great Toad Sage kept retreating. Obito pointed at Orochimaru, "You mean him?" "Oh, sorry, I forgot the sage can't see it. He's Orochimaru." Great Toad Sage, Sigma Odo no. "What the hell are you doing bringing the contractors from Raichi Cave to Mount Myoboku? Are you here to provoke me?" The Great Toad Sage, who had lived for 1,000 years, cursed. At this very moment, Orochimaru's chakra was out of control. The monster tentacles appeared, and the next moment, the flowers and plants around Mount Myoboku withered instantly. Great Toad Sage was really confused. Sigma Odo no. No, this is not the aura of Raichi Cave, what on earth is this? Quote. Obito took a look at the monster tentacles. Oh, this is the monster tentacles. The ghosts are monsters from another world. Great Toad Sage, Sigma Odo no. Why on earth did you bring such filth to Mount Myoboku? Great Toad Sage was completely confused. Obito said, that's why we came to Mount Myoboku. I want you to teach Orochimaru the sage technique. Mount Myoboku the great immortal laughed, haha, you want me to teach him? He can't learn. I can't learn it. Same answer as to Obito. Orochimaru asked with a grin, hehe, I can't learn it or you don't want to teach me. Still the same answer. Great Toad Sage laughed angrily, haha, you really can't learn it. It's not that I don't want to teach. With this kind of filth in your body, it is impossible for you to learn the Myoboku sage technique. I will show you a clear path, that is Raichi Cave. Go quickly, go quickly. White Snake Immortal, thank you your mother. Good things never come to my mind, but bad things are always blamed on me. Obito bowed to the Great Toad Sage, thank you. Then the two of them left. After Great Toad Sage felt the two people leave, he finally breathed a sigh of relief, good guy, they are finally gone. However, there was no grass growing within a 3-meter radius where Orochimaru was standing. From a distance, the beautiful Mount Myoboku has a black dot in the middle. It destroys this beauty. It's like a rat dropping fell into a piece of white rice porridge. For Mount Myoboku, the demons that Orochimaru brought with him are rat shit. This awkward feeling will make Great Toad Sage depressed and uncomfortable for a long time. After exiting Mount Myoboku, Orochimaru and Obito appeared in the forest outside of Konoha village. Obito asked Orochimaru, do you know where the Raichi Cave is? Orochimaru chuckled, hehe, I don't know. I only know the general location of Raichi Cave, but I don't know the exact entrance to Raichi Cave. Quote. Obito. So what the hell have you been studying all these years? Orochimaru. Hehe, I found Jugo, I'm researching curse seals. Obito. If you bring out the 10,000 snakes, I can take you to the Raichi Cave. Orochimaru nodded, same age technique. The smoke appeared and then dissipated, and then thousands of purple snakes appeared. Looking at the huge purple snakes swirling around, Obito thought to himself, this is the guy who blocked Sasuke's life and was killed by Deidara. Pretty cool, but weak. Manchi said to Orochimaru, Orochimaru, why did you ask me to come out again? This time, you have to prepare 100 sacrifices for me. Orochimaru chuckled, it wasn't me who called you, it was him who called you. Orochimaru pointed at Obito, and then monster tentacles appeared on Orochimaru's arms. Wanshi saw it keenly. Wanshi shouted in horror, what kind of filth are you? It's so disgusting. Orochimaru chuckled, poison from the alien creature monster. Wanshi said, don't worry about what this is for now. In short, if you ask me for help, you have to prepare 100 sacrifices for me. I am already thirsty and hungry. Mana looked at Obito, and Obito said, I'm sorry, but I won't give you 100 sacrifices. Wanshi was furious, then I will eat you first. Obito said, don't worry, I have 4 little brothers, you can talk to him. Wanshi laughed, haha, you are scared after all. 4 sacrifices are 4 sacrifices, let them come out. Obito nodded and stepped back to make room for his little brother, then Obito shouted in his mind, get ready to work. Kamui. Then the next moment, the space distorted. 4 huge monsters fell from the sky. 9 tails, 1 tail, 4 tails, 5 tails, the 4-tailed beast surrounded the trembling Manda in the center. 10,000 snakes, sigma degree hollow up pointing triangle degree. Manzo was completely stunned. If I was not mistaken, these 4 should be the legendary tailed beasts, right? Obito smiled, this is my little brother, come and chat with him. 9 Tails slapped one snake in the face, confusing him. 9 Tails said arrogantly, you're just not convinced and want to talk to Lousy. 10,000 snakes, asterisk II. Do you believe me if I say it's not me? Chapter 66 Living Corpse Reincarnation. The 4-tailed beasts surrounded Mandrake like gangsters. 10,000 snakes were sandwiched in the middle, feeling the 4 unfathomable chakras trembling around them. 1 tail posed to show off his muscles, and then said to one snake, you're called one snake. Wanshi. Ah, it should be me. There was a scorching heat around 4 tails, and he pointed at the 10,000 snakes and said, tell me, what do you want to talk to us about? 9 Tails said, he seemed to be saying he was going to eat us. 5 Tails frowned, oh, so crazy. No one has been so arrogant since the death of the Sage of Six Paths. 10,000 snakes. *II. My dear friends, I was wrong. Obito jumped onto Nine Tails' shoulder and said to Four Tailsmen, everyone, please stop bullying it. 10,000 snakes are now acting like snakes with their tails between their legs. After seeing Obito, the snake charmer was overjoyed. What do you need me to do? I can do anything. Obito said, it's easy, go back to Raichi Cave. Then take us to Raichi Cave, and we're going to learn Sage Mode in Raichi Cave. Wan Shi was shocked, I came here using summoning, I can't bring you back. Manchi looked at the four-tailed beasts that looked like gangsters. If he brought them back, wouldn't the white snake sage kill him? Obito said, don't worry about that. All you need to do is take us there. Wan Shi was extremely reluctant. First of all, Raichi Cave is his home. If he brings Obito and the four-tailed beasts to Raichi Cave will not be able to accommodate him, and the relatively brutal white snake Great Sage will also kill him. Wan Shi hesitated. Nine Tails raised his fox mouth slightly, and then patted Wan Shi's head with his claws. Little snake, don't be embarrassed. If you are in trouble, we will kill you here first, and then go to Raichi Cave ourselves. Wan Shi was shocked. No problem, no problem. I'll take you there. After saying this, Wan Shi disappeared from the spot. The next moment, Obito's eyes turned into Kamui, and 1 tail, 4 tails, and 5 tails were stored in Kamui's space. 9 tails transformed into a beam of light and returned to Obito's body. Obito felt the spatial fluctuations remaining here, and the next moment, he sensed traces of space. Summoning technique and reverse summoning technique are, after all, space-time ninjutsu. As long as it is a space-time ninjutsu, Obito's Kamui will be able to respond to the connection. It just consumes more chakra. But for Obito, especially for Obito who has 9 tails in his body, this is nothing. Although frequent use of Kamui will cause damage to the Mangekyō Sharingan, Obito does not have this hidden danger for the time being. Obito, who has half of Hashirama's body, can reduce this side effect to a minimum. As long as Obito doesn't use the time rewinding function of his right eye frequently, his Kamui eye won't go blind even if he uses it for a few more years. Orochimaru entered Kamui's space, the space around Obito distorted, and he also disappeared. Raichi Cave. As one of the 3 major heritage sites. Although Raichi Cave is not the most mysterious, it is the most eerie. As the boss of Raichi Cave, the White Snake Sage possesses extremely powerful chakra. The Raichi Cave has 4 high-rise buildings. Tashikoshin-heim, Aikikishima-heim, Suzu-heim, and Shinga. Among them, Shinya is quite special. It is the most violent and unruly snake, and all the snakes in Raichi Cave hate Shinya. Among the other giant snakes, the purple one is the most famous. Wan Shi's personality is also extremely violent. At this time, in the nest of the giant snakes in Raichi Cave, Obito and Orochimaru appeared, following closely behind the 10,000 snakes. Orochimaru licked his lips and looked at his surroundings with a fiery gaze. The powerful senjutsu chakra that filled this place intoxicated Orochimaru. Orochimaru preferred Raichi Cave to Mount Myoboku. Coming to Raichi Cave is like coming home. At the same time, deep within the Raichi Cave, a temple. The huge white snake opened its amber eyes. Her boundless, huge white phosphorus body was connected to the temple. She smiled slightly and said, "Hee, a guest is coming." Tano Koshin-heim, Aikikishima-heim, and Tamatsu-heim. The next moment, 3 women appeared in front of the white snake immortal. The 3 women had almost the same expression, all with their eyes slightly narrowed and a faint smile on their faces. White Snake Immortal. The White Snake Immortal looked at the 3 women and said, 2 guests came outside. Go and play with them, and if they pass your trials, bring them here. If you can't pass your test, just eat it. The 3 women laughed. Then we went to the snake's lair. After Manda saw Obito and Orochimaru successfully reach the Raichi Cave, he humbly said, "You two, can I go now?" Obito waved his hand, "Go away." The snakes left in ecstasy. Obito and Orochimaru then headed deeper into the Raichi Cave. Until Obito and Orochimaru came to a temple. In the temple, there was a large table with countless delicacies from land and sea. It seemed to be waiting for Obito and Orochimaru to come and taste it. A woman stood beside the table and said to the 2 people, "Anyone who comes is a guest. You 2 have come from afar, you must be hungry, eat something first." Obito ignored her and walked behind her. Tien Shinshinji looked at Obito and Orochimaru in surprise. She didn't know why, but she always felt that there was a familiar yet unpleasant smell about Orochimaru. The snake's greed wanted her to eat Orochimaru. However, when Tenshin Shenji bit Orochimaru, Tenshin Shenji was stunned. Because, white phosphorus appeared on Orochimaru's body, making him look more like a snake than her. Then, Orochimaru spit out another self from his mouth and drilled into the mouth of Tenshin Shenji. Tenshin Shenji's body was shaking constantly. Until, her body changed into Orochimaru's appearance. Obito witnessed this and said calmly, "How disgusting." Orochimaru said, "Obito, my goal has been achieved. I can use this method to obtain the body of an immortal. I've wanted to devour her since a while ago, and now I have the chance. She has a huge amount of chakra in her body. And instead of calling me disgusting, you should put me into your Kamui space. Otherwise, if the white snake immortal senses the aura of this snake on me, you won't be able to explain it to him." Snort. Obito snorted and sucked Orochimaru into the Kamui space. Indeed, for Orochimaru who possesses living corpse reincarnation, this method of directly possessing Tanaka Shinki's body is much faster than learning Raichi Cave Sage mode. As expected of Orochimaru, no matter what method he uses, it is never too shabby. Chapter 67 Tailed Beast F4. Obito passed the first level of the food test. Even the goddess Tien Shin from the first level is gone. Past the first level. Then we came to the second level. The second level is the stone filling test. Princess Aikikishima is also one of the high-ranking officials of Raichi Cave. She is known as the elder and trusted confidant of the White Snake Immortal and possesses extremely powerful chakra. She has the ability to float freely in the air and become invisible. Her special ability is to forcibly consume the opponent's chakra, so that the opponent's flesh and chakra will be swallowed by her. Aikikijima Haim was a little surprised to see Obito alone. Could it be that the second person failed the first test and was eaten by Tien Shinshinji? I really envy that guy. But Aikikishima Haim still looked at Obito, because not only that guy, but I also needed to eat something soon. He. Princess Aikikishima said to Obito, "Dear guest who has come from afar. Congratulations on passing the first level of the test. Congratulations on reaching the second level. To gain the power of Raichi Cave, it's not enough to have the will to resist food, you also need tenacity. See that hole in the wall? Fill it with stone." Obito looked at Aikikishima Hime and said, "I don't want it." Princess Aikikishima was extremely surprised. "Why, don't you want the power of Raichi Cave?" Obito Haki said, "It is precisely because I want to obtain the power of Raichi Cave that I don't have time for such meaningless things." Aikikishima Haim smiled, her face turned into a snake and she looked at Obito. What an interesting person you are. You don't have to fill the cave, but if you do, I will absorb your chakra." Obito said nonchalantly, "Suck it." Princess Aikikishima has the ability to forcibly absorb chakra. She smiled and touched Obito's hand. Then, a large amount of chakra poured into her body, but the next moment, her eyes widened in surprise. Extremely powerful and violent chakra surged into his body. A giant nine-tails fox appears in front of Aikikishima Haim. Nine-tails said, "Is my chakra good to absorb? If it feels good, suck more." Aikikishima Haim yelled in panic, No. It's about to be full, about to overflow. You passed my test. You passed my test." Nine-tails stopped forcibly injecting chakra into Aikikishima Haim. Aikikishima Haim lay limply on the ground, her face flushed with chakra. Obito didn't want to kill her either. There are only 3 high-ranking members of the White Snake Immortal besides Shinya. Orochimaru had already killed one. We can't kill them all, can we? When we reached the third level, nothing happened, but this was the worst thing. The tester for the third level is Princess Sujin, who has the ability to perform illusions. This illusion made Obito's body unable to move and his mind was trapped in the illusion. Outside, Princess Suzu looked at Obito who was motionless. She looked at Obito's face and smelled the scent on his body. What a handsome human. I can't bear to eat him. However, Princess Suzu still opened her mouth and bit Obito's throat. However, Princess Suzu directly penetrated Obito's body. She was confused. Why? This is unscientific. Why can't I touch him? Am I also under an illusion? Princess Sujin slapped herself. It hurt a lot. It wasn't an illusion, but why couldn't I bite this human? In Obito's spiritual world, Nine-Tails reminded Obito, "You are under an illusion." Obito looked around at his friends who were scolding him. Obito said, "I know. Don't forget, I am from the Uchiha clan. These eyes of mine are called Sharingan. I'm just not good at illusions, but I'm not incapable of them. This illusion is quite interesting. After I learn Raichi Cave Sage Mode, I believe my illusion abilities will also improve. Ordinary illusions are ineffective against Jinchuriki. Obito dispersed the illusion easily, and looking at the Tsukujinheim who kept rushing towards him but could never bite him, Obito said, I passed the test. Sujinji said unwillingly, as if she was wilting, you go in. Finally a human came to Raichi Cave, but I couldn't eat him. So sad. The 3-level test was easy for Obito. Finally, Obito saw the huge temple. There are 3 big characters written on the temple. Raichi Cave. However, through these eyes, Obito could tell that all of this was an illusion. There is no temple or anything here, only an enormous white snake fairy. The white snake immortal looked at Obito and said to him, congratulations, you have reached the last test. Once you complete the test, I will grant you the power of the Raichi Cave. Obito asked, what is your test? The white snake immortal said, deep in the snake's lair, there is a brutal giant snake. Go and retrieve its reverse scale. Obito looked at the white snake sage. He didn't think Yakushi Kabuto could take back Shinya's reverse scale. But Yakushi Kabuto still got sage mode. So Obito didn't want to do that. Obito said, but, what if I'm afraid of demolishing your Raichi Cave? The white snake immortal seemed to have heard a joke. Ha ha ha, what are you kidding? Obito said, I'm not kidding. Kamui. The next moment, the space twisted, and 4 huge monsters appeared around the white snake immortal. Tailed Beast F4 appears. Obito said with a smile, do you believe in my power now? The white snake sage's head was buzzing as he looked at the 4-tailed beasts. What the hell was this? In an instant, the Raichi Cave was filled with the huge chakra of the 4-tailed beasts. She turned to look at Obito, are you threatening me? Without waiting for Obito to speak, Shukaku snatched the pipe from the white snake sage's mouth and said, what are you smoking, old man? Let me have a taste. The white snake immortal was confused. She took on the posture of a human old woman and looked at Obito in disbelief. What on earth are you doing? Obito said, I believe you also know this, white snake immortal. The tailed beasts are violent and uncontrollable. I can't control what they do, all I can do is call them out and then send them back. The white snake immortal said, why don't you let them go back? That ordeal and the sage mode thing. The white snake immortal said grimly, you don't have to finish the test. I will teach you sage mode. Obito nodded, that's right. Then all the tailed beasts went back. Before one tail left, he said to the white snake immortal, old man, this thing is good. I'll take it away. The white snake sage was confused, but she didn't dare to anger the tailed beast. Even though the white snake sage has lived a long time, the tailed beasts are still tailed beasts after all, and they possess the most violent power in the ninja world. Chapter 68, 10,000 Snakes Escape. Looking at the backs of the 4-tailed beasts leaving, the white snake sage's teeth were about to break. Especially staring at that fat yellow civet cat. Damn, it's so arrogant and even snatched my pipe. Over the years, when had she, the white snake fairy, ever suffered such an injustice? However, the white snake immortal held back. She smiled at Obito and said, okay, I will infuse you with chakra now. Are you ready? Obito nodded, ready. Obito asked the white snake sage, what do we need to do? The white snake sage transformed into his true form, then revealed his huge fangs, and said to Obito, you need to use my fangs to transfer chakra into your body. If you can handle it, you can get sage mode. If you can't hold on, I'm going to eat you. How? Obito nodded. He thought of Yakushi Kabuto. Yakushi Kabuto dared to implant anything into his body, which made his body extremely resistant. He believed that this was the reason why he was able to withstand the upgrade, right? The fangs of the white snake immortal pierced Obito's shoulder, and then Obito clearly felt that some liquid was injected into his body. This liquid quickly dissipated in Obito's limbs and bones, making him feel a little cold. At this moment, the words of the white snake immortal rang in his ears, concentrate your attention, don't try to obtain natural energy from the outside world, refine the natural energy in your body first. Obito ignored the white snake sage. Instead, it absorbs the natural energy from the outside world on its own. With Raichi Cave Sage Mode already in use Mount Myoboku's Sage Mode again. Something's wrong. The white snake sage looked at Obito and muttered to himself. The Hashirama cells in Obito's body started to work, and he continued to assimilate Senjutsu chakra. Due to the collision of 2 magical chakras, half of Obito's face was covered with snake scales and the other half was covered with toad skin, which was extremely terrifying. This is the embodiment of the two magical chakras. The White Snake Immortal was stunned by this scene. This kid seems to be quite ambitious. Not only did I learn Sage Mode at Mount Myoboku, I also came to learn Sage Mode at Raichi Cave. But, can he control himself, so that he won't turn into a monster? Slowly, the Hashirama cells in Obito's body began to take effect. Then, the snake scales and frog skin slowly disappeared. A large amount of blue fairy chakra exploded around Obito. His appearance did not change at all. Obito opened his eyes, a red light flashed in his eyes, and Obito said to the White Snake Sage of Raichi Cave, "Thank you very much." Then, Obito disappeared right where he was. The White Snake Immortal was stunned. Just now, it was definitely Sage Mode, but Obito's appearance did not change at all. The only thing that remained was that his body was covered with blue fairy chakra. This is the perfect Sage Mode. There are no physical changes. I didn't expect that Obito could do this while practicing Sage Mode of two sacred places at the same time. It's just horrible. However, after a moment, the corners of the White Snake Immortal's mouth rose slightly. Different from the Great Toad Sage at Mount Myoboku. The White Snake Immortal is afraid that the world will not be in chaos. The more chaotic the appointment, the better. Anyway, it won't threaten Raichi Cave. But a moment later, Raichi Cave exploded. Because Lin Shen, one of the top executives, is missing. There was no trace of her in the entire Raichi Cave. This made the White Snake Immortal extremely anxious, because the three of them had been following the White Snake Immortal for hundreds of years. And, why did she disappear? It's so terrible to lose a snake for no reason. It will make the snakes panic in Raichi Cave. The White Snake Immortal ordered a thorough investigation of the matter. Manda knew it too, and Orochimaru's image instinctively flashed through his mind. He always felt that the disappearance of Tenshin Shenji was related to Orochimaru. But he had no evidence. But this does not require evidence. There are 5 major tests in Raichi Cave, and the first test is to come to Raichi Cave, because there is a natural fog formation outside. However, when the White Snake Sage saw that there was no movement outside, he knew that a snake must have brought Obito and Orochimaru here. Then I'm done. 10,000 snakes were trembling with fear. The green snake next to him was very scared when he saw Wanshi, so he asked him, "Brother Wanshi, what's wrong with you?" Wanshi was startled, then heaved a sigh of relief when he saw it was the green snake. "Green snake, it's okay, it's okay. Lousy is going to run away. If it turns out to be my fault, I'll be finished." Run away overnight. On the very night when all the snakes escaped, the White Snake Immortal discovered them. The disappearance of Manchi and Tenshin Shenji is too suspicious. Moreover, the green snake also saw that all the snakes were trembling in fear. The snake disappeared that night. The White Snake Immortal suddenly realized. This guy Wanshi has been hiding his strength. After eating Tenshin Shenji, he obtained the immortal power of Tenshin Shenji, then fled for fear of crime and defected from Raichi Cave. I didn't expect that you, Wanshi, are such a Wanshi. Wanshi. How could I be so worthy as to kill Tenshin Shenji? So, the White Snake Immortal issued an order that whoever could capture the 10,000 snakes in the entire Raichi Cave must do so. Reward with a large amount of immortal power. This made Manchi the most wanted criminal in Raichi Cave. The crime is killing Tenshin Shenji and absconding for fear of punishment. Wanshi was outside, looking at the moon and suddenly sneezed. What happened? Someone scolded me. Then Wanshi shook his head and continued to run away. In the other side, Obito and Orochimaru both gained sage power. However, Orochimaru's sage power is not perfect. Every time he uses the immortal technique, snake scales grow on his body and he turns into a snake. But Orochimaru didn't care. It's just a mere appearance, why bother about it? Orochimaru's matter was resolved. It's time to deal with the Rain Shinobi village. It felt like not much time was wasted learning the chakra technique, but 3 days had passed before I knew it. And the next goal. It's Iwagakure. As for Iwagakure, after such a long time, Onoki already knew that his tailed beast had been stolen. Onoki was furious, but also furious at the cost of his ability. He had no way of doing anything to Obito. In fact, Onoki now has 2 paths. One is to join Obito, then everyone will be happy. The second option is to fight to the death, but if that happens, I don't know how many people will die. The tailed beasts are a powerful deterrent tool for the village. The function of the tailed beasts is like that of a nuclear bomb. You can choose not to use them, but you cannot do without them. However, Iwagakure now doesn't even have a nuclear bomb. It can't withstand the wanton invasion of Obito's tailed beasts. So he was very conflicted. On the one hand, it is for the sake of the villagers of Iwagakure who choose to join Obito's plan. Secondly, he is the Tsuchikage, how can he let Iwagakure be destroyed in his hands? If I go to the Pure Land, I will be laughed at by my teacher. Therefore, Iwagakure must not fail in his own hands. It has been 3 days since Obito captured the tailed beast. These 3 days. It's more like Rain Shinobi Village's final ultimatum to Onoki. It was as if Obito was asking, do you want to join me, or do I beat you up first and then join me? In fact, Onoki already had the answer in his heart. He picked up a stone from the ground. Then hold it tightly. My teacher once taught me that the purpose of building a village is to protect the villagers. What's the point of building a village if it can't protect the villagers? However, Iwagakure must not be destroyed in my own hands. He is the third Tsuchikage, Iwagakure, and he absolutely cannot let this happen in his hands. This is Onoki's bottom line. So, Onoki made a decision. That is before Obito officially invades, retire. Then the rest of the matter has nothing to do with me and will be left to the fourth Tsuchikage. In this case, the villagers' dissatisfaction with public opinion and infamy has nothing to do with him, so they can just go and curse fourth Tsuchikage. In this way, when I die and go to the Pure Land, I will have the face to face my teacher. In this way, their face and reputation were saved, and the villagers didn't have to die. It's really the best of both worlds. Onoki has a bottom line, but it seems a little crooked. Chapter 69, The Fourth Tsuchikage. Onoki considered himself to be extremely intelligent. He called the confused Kuretsuchi and said to him, haven't you always wanted to be Tsuchikage? From tomorrow on, this village will be handed over to you. Haito was even more confused. Old man, what did you say? Onoki said, you will be Tsuchikage tomorrow. Haito was surprised, why, old man? Besides, there is no ceremony at all. Onoki thought about it seriously, then picked up the stone from the ground and said to Kuretsuchi. Yes, protect our will of stone. Then Onoki floated away. When he left, Onoki looked relaxed. Kuretsuchi looked at the stone in his hand with disbelief on his face. He was becoming the Tsuchikage he had always dreamed of. How can it be so unreal? On the other side, Rain Shinobi Village. Here comes the messenger from Kurigakure. The messenger met with the Rain Shadow, and Nagato looked at the messenger in front of him in surprise. What, release the Mizukage? The messenger said, yes, we are willing to pay any price. Nagato didn't say anything, he said, let me think about it. Then, Pain on the other side received the information in time. He found Obito and asked Obito, saying that Kurigakure asked to release Mizukage and they could meet any price. Obito smiled and said, okay, let them trade 6 taels. Nagato said to the messenger, exchange it for 6 taels. The messenger was stunned, but. Nagato said, no buts, if you want Mizukage, you have to exchange it for 6 taels. We stole the Mizukage with our own ability, why should we send him back to you? The messenger was stunned for a moment, then nodded, I understand. Then he went back. In Kamui space. The great Mizukage seemed to have recognized his fate. She was wearing a bikini and lying on the sand in Shukaku, basking in the fake sun made by 4 taels. With a glass of coconut milk in my hand, life is so comfortable. All the supplies were given by Obito. Shukaku was so angry but dared not say anything when he saw a woman occupying his beach. He could only huddle in a corner, smoking the stolen pipe. There was almost no tobacco left in the pipe, but he still smoked it with relish. Terumi Mei was a little surprised to see this scene. Where did you get your pipe? Speaking of this, Shukaku became excited. He exaggerated his brilliant experience of using his superior numbers to bully the weak and taking advantage of his power. This pipe was his trophy. To be honest, Shukaku hasn't been so united with the other tailed beasts for a long time. The feeling of being so united to bully others makes Shukaku very comfortable. Terumi Mei adjusted his sunglasses and looked at Shukaku. Your body is made of sand, how can you taste anything? Shukaku said, no, but don't you feel it's really cool? Terumi Mei. Space distorts and Obito appears. Looking at Terumi Mei's outfit today, Obito could only say that it was very pleasing to the eye. Terumi Mei asked, when will you let me go? Obito asked back, isn't it good to be a canary here? Haha, you're the only one in the entire ninja world who dares to call Mizukage a canary. Obito sighed and said, once Mist Shinobi joins me, I will let you go. Terumi said, it's impossible, don't dream about it. Obito also said, then don't leave, wait until I die and Kamui's space disappears, then you can get out. Of course, it is also possible that I will be trapped in this space forever. With that, Obito left. It's nice to tease Mizukage once in a while. Obito then came to Orochimaru's laboratory. He planned to have Orochimaru come with him to Iwagakure. Come and conquer Iwagakure. Just to try out the sage mode he just learned, and see if it's as pervert as Yakushi Kabuto's sage mode. However, in Orochimaru's laboratory, Obito saw Sasuke. Obito looked at Sasuke in surprise, why are you here? Where's Orochimaru? Sasuke said obediently, Sensei went to do an experiment with Kabuto. Obito was confused, teacher. When did it happen? How come I didn't know about it? Sasuke said seriously, yesterday, pervy sage Jiraiya personally came to the Rain Shinobi village and accepted Naruto as his apprentice. I'm really upset with that guy. So I came to look for Orochimaru, who is also a Sannin of Konoha like Jiraiya, but he just came back this morning. Hearing that I was Itachi's younger brother, Orochimaru accepted me as his apprentice. Quote. Obito was speechless after hearing this. Konoha Sannin is involved in pornography, gambling and drugs. Jiraiya is yellow, Tsunade is gambling, and Orochimaru is poisoned. It seems that the fate of inheritance cannot be changed. Sasuke still became Orochimaru's disciple. However, Obito's mouth corners slightly raised. Sasuke is a difficult guy to teach. He looks very well behaved, but out of his 100 kilograms, 99 kilograms is rebellious. Obito even thought about the future when the Sannin would meet again. Jiraiya, this is my apprentice, Naruto. Tsunade, this is my apprentice, little Sakura. Orochimaru, next, please welcome my father. Dot 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 dot. Dot 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 dot. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Chapter 70 Teaching Sasuke. Orochimaru is doing experiments. He has acquired an extremely high concentration of Senjutsu chakra. So, he tried to inject this high concentration of chakra into Yakushi Kabuto's body, because Orochimaru found that Yakushi Kabuto kept injecting himself with some messy things, which made Yakushi Kabuto's current drug resistance attribute directly maxed out. Orochimaru began to reminisce. Yakushi Kabuto worshipped himself and injected his blood into his body. Then seeing that Kimamaro's bloodline limit was good, he injected Kimamaro's blood and genes into his body. Then he felt that Tayuya was good, so he injected Tayuya's blood and genes into his body. Then the rejection and withdrawal reactions caused by the multiple genes in Yakushi Kabuto's body made Yakushi Kabuto extremely painful. Then he thought of Hidan's immortality. Yakushi Kabuto then injected Hidan's blood and genes into his own body. Such a crazy experiment almost ruined Yakushi Kabuto's body. But Yakushi Kabuto had followed Orochimaru for so many years, and Orochimaru couldn't bear to see Yakushi Kabuto die. Then, Orochimaru transformed into the true form of Tanaka Shinki, a giant blue snake. Yakushi Kabuto was stunned when he saw it. Master Orochimaru, why did your white snake sage turn blue? Orochimaru said in his snake mouth, it's not important. Orochimaru then took a bite of Yakushi Kabuto. Orochimaru said, begin to absorb the Senjutsu chakra injected by my fangs. Yakushi Kabuto nodded. Then Yakushi Kabuto started foaming at the mouth and convulsing 3 minutes later. Orochimaru was stunned. What's going on? This is not scientific. Where did the mistake happen? Suddenly, Orochimaru understood. Damn, Tien Shin Shenji is a lion majesty. Yakushi Kabuto addicted. After figuring it out, Orochimaru immediately injected serum and a large amount of Hashirama cells into Yakushi Kabuto. Then Yakushi Kabuto's body slowly stopped twitching. The various chaotic genes and energies in Yakushi Kabuto's body began to slowly merge under the neutralization of Senjutsu chakra and Hashirama cells, and it seemed that some magical transformation was taking place. White snake scales began to appear on Yakushi Kabuto's body, then corneas appeared in his eyes, his teeth gradually turned into fangs, and his tongue began to fork. He now looked more like a human-shaped snake than a human. After seeing Yakushi Kabuto's body begin to transform into a snake, Orochimaru was relieved that everything was moving in a good direction. Left the laboratory. Orochimaru saw Obito outside. He licked his tongue and asked, Obito, when did you get here? Obito said, just arrived. Orochimaru stuck out his tongue out of habit. Unexpectedly, Sasuke also began to imitate, slurp slurp slurp. Obito, opening parenthesis, Su. What are you doing? Sasuke said seriously, I'm learning from Orochimaru-sensei. Obito looked at Sasuke seriously. He was now a little worried about letting Orochimaru continue to lead Sasuke. Obito asked Sasuke, do your brother and parents know that you have come to Orochimaru as your master? Sasuke said, they don't know. Don't tell my parents and brother, I want to give them a surprise. Sasuke said confidently. Obito is a bit messy, what surprise do you have for them? Are you going to scare Itachi by sticking out your tongue? Itachi, dear Odo, let me see what new ninjutsu you have learned recently. Sasuke, slurp, slurp, molting technique. Ferret, 6. If Itachi saw that Orochimaru had turned his beloved brother into a little pervert, I guess he will just come over with a knife and chop Orochimaru. Orochimaru also realized this, and he said to Sasuke, I'm going out with Obito now, so there may be nothing I can teach you. So, wait for Yakushi Kabuto in the lab to wake up and let him teach you. Sasuke nodded obediently like an innocent child, okay. Obito was even more messy. What can Yakushi Kabuto do? Yakushi Kabuto, Sasuke, what do you want to learn? Sasuke, I want to learn cool ninjutsu. Yakushi Kabuto, okay. I'll inject you with Orochimaru-sama's blood and genes, so take good care of it. Sasuke, I also want to learn high damage techniques. Yakushi Kabuto, okay. I'll inject Kimimara's blood genes into you, so take good care of it. Sasuke, I also learned a technique with high defensive power. Yakushi Kabuto, okay. I'll inject Hidan's immortal blood gene into you, so take good care of it. Itachi, dear Odo, let your brother see what ninjutsu you have learned. Sasuke, hahaha, I've shed my snake skin and become a dragon. Ferret, 6. Then Itachi will probably call Fugaku and Shisui to chop down Orochimaru and Yakushi Kabuto together. Shaking his head, Obito threw away the unfounded thoughts and asked Orochimaru, are you really confident in letting Yakushi Kabuto teach Sasuke? Orochimaru nodded, of course, I believe in Yakushi Kabuto's talent. He has inherited 7 or 8 out of 10 of me. Obito, well, you can't learn it anymore. Obito said to Sasuke, wait, I will teach you a jutsu first, you learn it well. Sasuke nodded. Then Obito cast an illusion and pulled Sasuke into the illusion space. The next moment, Obito taught Sasuke his fire style, Hauhuo Extinguish. This is an extremely powerful B-rank fire style jutsu. You should learn it well. The power of this technique is directly related to the amount of chakra of the user. Obito is right. Madara uses this technique to destroy the world. If Kakashi uses it, he might only be able to spit out a small flame. Chapter 71, Tragic Tsuchikage. Leaving Orochimaru's experimental base. Obito said to Orochimaru, come on, let's go to Iwagakure now. I want to see how that old man Onoki can resist my 4-tailed beasts in a ghetto statue. Kamui space distortion. Obito and Orochimaru disappeared from the spot. Before leaving, I took Deidara, who was playing in the mud, with me. He used to be Onoki's disciple, so bringing him along would probably help him in a special way. In Kamui space, Deidara looked at One Tail with admiration and said, is this the legendary One Tail Shukaku-sama? Shukaku was enjoying his pipe with his tail up, as expected, all humans know me. Deidara said, I heard that One Tail Shukaku-sama's strength is the strongest among the 9-tailed beasts, especially his defense. Shukaku's tail was almost up in the air, he said, stop, it's not a rumor, it's the truth. My strength is the strongest, especially my defense, which is unparalleled in the world. I didn't expect you to know this. The cat's 4 tails and 5 tails were in the corner watching Shukaku brag. 4 tails said, what should I do? I really want to beat him up. 5 tails said, give him some face, and beat him up when no one is around. 4 tails, how? Deidara then said to Shukaku, I just developed a jutsu, can Lord Shukaku practice with me? Shukaku said, come on, throw whatever techniques you have at me. I call you, Grandpa, and I'm your grandson. Quote. Deidara smiled slightly, then shyly ate a ball of explosive clay and spit it out from her mouth, forming a huge doll that was exactly like herself. Shukaku felt something was wrong after seeing this. Wait, my lord. But it was too late, Deidara shouted excitedly, C4, Garo Tower. Drink. Card. There was a huge explosion and Deidara stepped back, watching his art in fascination. He has long wanted to find a tailed beast to prove his ultimate art. In the distance, Terumi Mei stared at the explosion on the beach, and was stunned. Why are there still people setting off fireworks? And when the aftermath of the explosion dissipated, half of Shukaku's body was blown into pieces, and even his beloved pipe that he had snatched was blown away. Fortunately, Shukaku's body is made of sand. Countless sands gathered together again to form Shukaku's body. Deidara watched Shukaku begin to praise him. I knew that with Shukaku-sama's defense, he would be fine. Shukaku was slightly stunned, and then he was too embarrassed to lose his temper. He coughed, ahem, it's good to know, it's good to know. Shukaku can't stand being flattered. However, he was very sad that his pipe was gone. When I have time, I will go to the cave and find the big white snake, then snatch another one from the old thing's mouth. It would be better to stockpile a few and then give one to each of the 8-tailed beasts. They all hold pipes in their mouths, how handsome. White snake immortal. Are you using my place as a purchasing base? And you are the same age as me, and you call me an old thing. At this time, in Raichi Cave, the white snake immortal sneezed 3 times in a row. Princess Sujin said, Sage, do you have a cold? Aikikijima Haim said, you are an idiot. An immortal is an immortal. How could he catch a cold? The white snake immortal said gloomily, stop arguing, I can sense someone scolding me. Princess Aikikishima was furious, who is so bold as to insult the great immortal? The white snake immortal said, the only people who have a grudge against me are probably the 10,000 snakes. I am probably the 10,000 snakes. Wanshi magically takes the blame again. Wanshi, oh, yes, it's all me, it's all me. On the other side, Iwagakure. Tsuchikage building. Unoki carefully handed the Tsuchikage hat in his hand to Kuretsuchi. Even though a day had passed, Kuretsuchi's head was still buzzing as he looked at the Tsuchikage hat in his hand. She felt like this was all a dream. I became Tsuchikage by accident. Kuretsuchi took the hat and asked Onoki, old man, are you dying? Onoki was furious, do you still think I'm your grandfather? Why are you cursing me like that? Haitu said, that shouldn't be the case. Are you hiding something from me? A flash of panic flashed across Onoki's face. I didn't, don't talk nonsense. Then Haitu keenly caught it and said, old man, you must be hiding something from me. Black soil is too smart and hard to trick. How about changing the Tsuchikage candidate? Onoki looked at the tall figure behind Kurotoshi. It was Wangtu, the father of his son Kurotoshi. Wangtu was smiling like a fool and it was obvious that he was not very smart. Unoki was worried about handing Iwagakure over to Wangtu. The candidate has to be Haitu. If Deidara hadn't defected, forget it, I don't want to think about that unfilial descendant anymore. Unlucky. Then Onoki asked Kuretsuchi, don't ask so many questions, just tell me whether you want to be the Tsuchikage or not. Haitu said directly, yes. Why not? If something good comes to your doorstep, of course you should do it. Unoki smiled with satisfaction and said to Kuretsuchi, don't forget to attend the ceremony, and after the ceremony, you will be Tsuchikage. I was going to present the hat to you personally, but I am not feeling well. Just don't go there yet, let the earth give you the same. Haitu said, old man, do you look unwell? Onoki laughed and left. Left the Tsuchikage building. He was walking towards his home. After taking off the burden of Tsuchikage, Onoki felt relaxed. No more worrying about anything. The future of Iwagakure will be left to those youngsters. I'm old. Dark place. Obito and Orochimaru and Deidara the cat were in the shadows. Deidara said, let me do a sneak attack. Exclamation mark, etc. Orochimaru called Deidara and said to him, are you attacking by surprise? If you ask me, sneak attacks are the kind of insidious tactics that only I can do. Orochimaru looked at Obito, who nodded. Although he now has overwhelming strength, Obito will not release the tailed beast in the village unless it is absolutely necessary. As I said, what he wanted was a complete ninja world, not a ninja world with most of its members killed or injured. The next Tsuchikage of Iwagakure was Kuretsuchi. Kuretsuchi has been controlled by Shisui using distinguished heavenly gods. Therefore, among the entire Iwagakure upper echelons, Obito's only obstacle is Onoki. Therefore, there is no need to release the tailed beasts when one Onoki can solve the problem. Orochimaru is dispatched. He lay on the ground and rushed towards Unoki like a snake. Suddenly, his arms transformed into snakes and wrapped around Onoki. Onoki. Sigma degree hollow up pointing triangle degree. Oh no, I sprained my waist. The pain made Onoki open his mouth instinctively. Orochimaru saw it and said, haha, you want to use dust release. I won't give you this chance. Then, the next moment, Orochimaru's arm transformed into a snake head and drilled directly into Onoki's mouth, blocking his mouth and preventing him from releasing ninjutsu from the root. Onoki was completely numb. Onogi, you for all you. I never expected that I would suffer such a disaster when I am old. Orochimaru tied up Onoki with a snake and gave Obito an okay sign. Obito then used Kamui to get Unoki and Orochimaru into the Kamui space. When Unoki woke up again, he saw a strange space. My legs and hands were tied, and I could only wriggle on the ground like a maggot. His throat was still burning with pain because he didn't know what had just hit him. Orochimaru. He, it's the snake head. Then Onoki squirmed, and a yellow figure suddenly appeared in front of him. He looked up and saw it was One Tail. One Tail used his fingernails to pull Onoki up by his hair, and said arrogantly, old man, you have fallen into my hands, right? Chapter 72 Perfect World. Onoki looked at Shukaku in panic, what are you going to do? Shukaku raised his sandbag-sized fist and said, what? Of course I'm going to beat you up. I'm very angry now. I was just blown up by my little brother for no apparent reason. It hurts me so much. I still don't have my pipe anymore. I can't get mad at you, but now that I see an old man like you, I have to vent my anger. Onoki was stunned. When he heard the word, exploded, Deidara's figure instinctively appeared in his mind. Then, in order to avoid being beaten by Shukaku, Onoki quickly said, Hashido-sak. Shukaku looked at Unoki and asked, why, do you have any last words? Onoki said, is the little brother you are talking about a boy with yellow hair? Shukaku said, how do you know? Onoki sighed, because he is my disciple. Then Onoki continued, do you want to know how to restrain him? Shukaku said, how to restrain it? If you speak well and make me look good in front of me next time, I won't beat you this time. Onoki took a deep breath and said, Deidara's ninjutsu is afraid of lightning style. As long as you use lightning style, you can counter Deidara's clay bomb. However, Onoki saw Shukaku shaking with anger. He asked cautiously, what's wrong? Shukaku was furious, are you kidding me, old man? Just open your eyes wide and look at this. Do I look like a tailed beast that can use lightning style? Answer me. Onoki was a little confused. Of course I know you can't do lightning style. I just told you how to restrain it. However, before Onoki could explain, his face changed drastically, and he was thrown into the sky by Shukaku. The next moment, Onoki opened his mouth in pain because his waist was twisted. However, before he could scream in pain, Shukaku punched him, and this punch almost broke Onoki. Onoki was unable to form a seal, his hands now tied behind his back, he slapped his butt hard and yelled, increase the rock technique. Then, when Shukaku punched Onoki, Onoki tried hard to adjust his posture in the air and aimed his butt at Shukaku's fist. Unexpectedly, Onoki smashed Shukaku's fist made of sand into pieces with his butt. Shukaku is stunned. Is he such a tough guy? Onoki looked at Shukaku proudly, as if saying that he had no way to do anything to Shukaku. But the next moment, Unoki became numb. Because, behind Shukaku, two more leaders appeared. Onogi, opening parenthesis plate. 4 tails and 5 tails came behind Shukaku. Aren't these the 4 tails and 5 tails from their own village? Why are they here? Could it be that he has recognized the thief as his father? No, I can't let them see me. Onoki was once the Tsuchikage. 4 tails and 5 tails are both tailed beasts of Iwagakure, so they must know Onoki very well. Onoki had no choice but to bury his head in the sand, leaving only his weighted rock butt outside for defense. Can't see me. However, everything seemed to be developing differently from what Onoki had expected. 4 tails said to 1 tail, Shukaku, you were quite crazy just now, weren't you? Shukaku said hurriedly, wait, there's a human here. 5 tails gave Shukaku a hoof, do you think we are blind? Aren't Obito and Orochimaru already gone? I've wanted to beat you up for a long time. Aren't you known as the tailed beast with the strongest defense? Come on, let's try it. Shukaku said, there really is someone. 4 tails took a look and saw only a rock that looked like a butt buried in the sand. Then 5 tails said to 4 tails, Son Goku, drag Shukaku somewhere else and beat him up. Don't disturb my elder sister's rest. Four Tails also said, okay. The two-tailed beasts dragged one tail away. Unoki just wanted to crawl out of the sand, but he sprained his waist again. The severe pain made Unoki dare not move. Onoki is now like an ostrich, with his butt sticking up and his head buried in the sand. It's so embarrassing. Fortunately, no one saw it, otherwise I would not be able to finish it. Onoki breathed a sigh of relief, but the next moment, Onoki felt numb again, and he heard a familiar voice. Isn't this Master Tsuchikage? Why are you buried in the soil? Onogi. Terumi Mei. I won't live any longer. Terumi Mei pulled the dejected-looking Onoki out of the sand, and then looked at Onoki with a smile. Terumi Mei is wearing a cheongsam today, which was given to her by Obito. She feels that this kind of clothes looks strange, but after putting it on, it looks inexplicably good. It not only shows off her figure, but also highlights her temperament. Onoki looked at Terumi Mei and said, "Kill me." Terumi Mei, huh? Outside world. Take it. Obito threw Onoki into Kamui space and left him alone. What he needs to do now is to support Kuretsuchi to become Tsuchikage. Then let her decide. Iwagakure joins Rain Shinobi village. The space around Obito was distorted and flickering. Obito came to the border of the village, but saw a large number of Iwagakure villagers walking towards other villages. Deidara beside him wanted to find out what was going on. But Obito stopped him. You look too ostentatious in the red cloud robe of Akatsuki. Let me go. Deidara. Yes. Obito put on a mask, then grabbed an old man and asked, "Are you villagers from Iwagakure?" The old man replied, "Yes. Where are you going now?" "Of course, we have to go to Rain Shinobi village." "Why do you want to go to Rain Shinobi village?" The old man sighed and said to Obito, "You don't know, Iwagakure, there is a war coming, and every time there is a war, it is us villagers who suffer. The old man's son died in Konoha during the last Ninja World War, and my grandson also died in Rain Shinobi village during the last Ninja World War. As an old man, I hate war. We all know that Obito of Rain Shinobi village created some kind of ninja village. The ninja village is peaceful and stable, and we all want to join it. However, we all know that the third Tsuchikage of Iwagakure is a stubborn old man, and there is no way he will join the Rain Shinobi village. Therefore, in order to stop suffering from fighting, we can only join the Rain Shinobi village." Obito sighed. They are all the poor people affected by the war. That's why Obito wants to build that perfect world so that there will be no more wars in the ninja world. Chapter 73 Tsuchikage Regret. Maybe Obito isn't a good person. However, looking at the old man in front of him, Obito became more determined to unify the ninja world. If there is war, who suffers? In the three wars, the main participants were Konoha, Rock Shinobi, Rain Shinobi, and Sand Shinobi. Sarutobi Japanese Station and Shimura Danzo are alive and well. Shimura Danzo was killed by Obito. Iwagakure's Onoki is also alive and well. Rasa from Sand Shinobi was also alive and well, but was later killed by a snake. Hanzo of Rain Shinobi village was also killed by pain. The top leaders of all the major villages are all alive and well after the war. The people who died were ninjas who sacrificed themselves for the village. The dead people are villagers in the village. The people who died were weaklings like Nagato's parents who were powerless. Obito looked at the old man and said, "So do you want to go to Rain Shinobi village?" These words made the old man lose his defense. "I don't want to, but there is no way. We are afraid of war. If there is no war, I don't want to leave Iwagakure, where I was born and raised." Turbid tears flowed down the old man's cheeks. Obito said, "Do you know who I am? I am the Uchiha Obito you are talking about. I'll take you to confront Onoki, do you dare?" The old man was surprised at Obito's identity. After a long while, he nodded and said, "I am alone and helpless. I won't live much longer anyway. Let's go." Obito nodded and held the old man's shoulder. The next moment, Kamui was activated, and Obito brought the old man directly to Unoki. However, Obito was somewhat surprised to see Onoki with a bruised face and disheveled hair. Although it is unknown how Onoki became like this, Obito said to Onoki, "Tsuchikage, look at me, I advise you not to act rashly. Otherwise, the ghetto statue's slap will smack you into pieces." Onoki suppressed his anger and looked at Obito. "What do you want to do?" Terumi Mei also squinted her eyes and looked at Obito. She also wanted to know what Obito was going to do. Obito pushed the old man in front of Onoki and said to Onoki, "Do you know who he is?" Onoki looked at the old man in confusion, then shook his head. Obito saw that the old man was still a little scared when facing Onoki. After all, he was Tsuchikage, even though he was in a very miserable state now. Obito said, "These are your villagers from Iwagakure. You know, right now, there are a lot of villagers in Iwagakure who want to reign Shinobi Village, and he is one of them." Single quote. After hearing this, Onoki became furious. He pointed at the old man's nose and said, "Transplant reign Shinobi Village. What on earth are you going to do? The crime of convicting a villager is punishable by death." After being scolded by Onoki, the old man had tears in his eyes. He knelt on the ground in despair and shouted to the sky, "My son, my grandson, did you see that? This is Rock Shinobi. This is Tsuchikage. You died unjustly." The old man seemed to have lost his faith. He knelt on the ground and looked at Onoki. There was no cowardice in his eyes, only determination. He said to Onoki, "You ask who I am. I tell you, I'm just the owner of a noodle shop in Iwagakure. My wife and I have no talent for ninjutsu, we are just ordinary people. But my child is different. He is a member of Anbu. My grandson is different. He graduated from the ninja academy early and became a ninja. You know, they're proud of it. My kid was sent to Konoha by you and died. I have no complaints because they are doing this for the village and to protect the villagers. My grandson was sent by you to reign shinobi, and he died too. No complaints for this. But what have you done? Obviously, as long as we join the reign shinobi village, there will be no war and we will be protected by Akatsuki, but why don't you? You do this for your so-called face, for your so-called village. Don't you care about our life or death? Why don't we run away? Are we going to die in Iwagakure? Iwagakure is weak, Uchiha's reign shinobi village is strong, this is a war without suspense. Single quote. After listening to the old man's crying, Onoki's lips trembled as he said, "Is this just your opinion, or everyone's opinion?" The old man said like a deflated ball, "I don't know. I only know that this is what the people in our area mean. Our children died on the battlefield. I am old and don't want to suffer from war anymore." Onoki suddenly raised his arm. The old man shrank back in fear. However, Onoki's slap hit his own face, and he said sincerely, "I'm sorry. It's my fault. Maybe you were right, I am not a qualified Tsuchikage. Because I am only doing this for the so-called benefit of the village. And forgot you. But, don't I remember that the family of each fallen ninja receives a subsidy of 1,000 taels per year?" Hearing this, the old man looked confused. "What do you mean by 1,000 taels?" Onoki seemed to have thought of something, and he said, "The family of every fallen ninja. Iwagakure subsidizes 1,000 ryo every year for household expenses." Single quote. The old man smiled bitterly, "I haven't received any in all these years." Hearing this, Onoki fell silent. He clenched his fists. He said to Obito, "Uchiha Obito. You win, you are different from me. You are a more qualified leader, and I am just a ruler. We, Iwagakure, can join the reign shinobi village. But, now I am no longer Tsuchikage." Hearing Onoki's words, Obito was stunned for a moment. "You are not Tsuchikage anymore. Then why did I arrest you?" Onoki said, "Today is the inauguration ceremony of the new Tsuchikage Kuretsuchi." Then Onoki looked at Obito resentfully, "I don't know why, but when I was about to go home and rest, I was attacked by something and my throat was stabbed. Then I came here." Obito asked Onoki, "Why didn't you publicize such a big thing as the shadow change?" Onoki blushed and said, "Isn't it because I'm afraid that other Zunzi will laugh at me?" Obito was speechless. He took a deep breath and said to the old man, "You don't have to run. I will not start a war. Moreover, I believe that Onoki will kill the guy who swallowed your body gold." The old man's body was shaking with excitement, but he couldn't say a word. "I can only keep saying thank you, thank you." When Onoki saw that these were the villagers of his own ninja village, he thought that it was time for him to reflect on himself. Terumi Mei was also quite touched when watching this scene. She didn't expect that Obito could be so handsome and considerate. Chapter 74, Disobedient. Everything Obito does is not just for himself. More importantly, it is for the ninja world. Terumi Mei's heart trembled a little, and he said to Obito, "Obito, we, Kurigakure, can also join you. But can I trust you?" Obito smiled slightly, "Can't you trust me?" Obito's incoherent words made Terumi Mei a little overwhelmed. Then, space warps around Obito, the old man, and Onoki, and he leaves. Outside, Onoki looks at the old man. The old man is more than 10 years younger than Onoki, but due to years of hard work, his back cannot be straightened. This made him look even older than Onoki. Onoki said to Obito, come on, let's go to the Tsuchikage building. Obito nodded. And at this time, in front of the Tsuchikage building, a large number of Tsuchikage high-ranking officials gathered there. Learned the news that Kuretsuchi would inherit Tsuchikage. The top brass asked Tsuchikage, Uchiha Obito wants to merge with Iwagakure, what do you think? Kuretsuchi raised an eyebrow and looked at him. He was a senior executive of Iwagakure named Suma Shi. He made contributions in the Third Ninja World War and later took charge of the Iwagakure finance department. Haito raised his eyebrows and asked him, is this a question you want to ask yourself, or does everyone want to ask it? Sumashi said, we all want to know. Haito smiled and said, what do you think? Sumashi said, I think we should fight to the death and never give in. Then, Kuretsuchi interrupted Sumashi's speech and said, bullshit. You are talking nonsense. Suma had never been scolded like this before, not to mention that the person scolding him was the next Tsuchikage. He said dissatisfiedly, Kuretsuchi, what do you mean? Don't forget, you are not Tsuchikage yet. Kuretsuchi directly put Tsuchikage's hat on his own head. In Sumashi's view, this was a heinous act. Just as he was about to lose his temper, Kuretsuchi said, you be ******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** you going to use your mother to resist? Don't you remember how the catastrophe in Iwagakure happened last time? Because the third Tsuchikage covets Akatsuki. So half of Iwagakure was destroyed by Tendo Pain, a super god tier Luo Tianzhong. They are so strong, and you actually tell me to fight to the death. You mean, you will only be satisfied if all the people in Iwagakure are dead? Sumishi looked at Kuretsuchi with gloomy eyes. He had only been the finance minister of Iwagakure for a few short years and he hadn't reaped enough benefits yet. Once Iwagakure and Rain Shinobi Village merge, the finance minister will definitely be Kakuzu's. Then what benefits will I get? Therefore, Iwagakure and Rain Shinobi Village must not be merged. Sumishi said, "Hehe, where is the third Tsuchikage Onoki?" "He is ill," said Haito. Suma pointed at Kuretsuchi and shouted, "Are you sick? Or did you imprison him?" "Ah, third Tsuchikage Onoki is still strong and has never mentioned that he wants to replace Tsuchikage. But today you said that you are Tsuchikage. However, the third Tsuchikage Onoki is not here. How do we know? Did you put the third Tsuchikage under house arrest?" Haito was speechless because her head was also buzzing. What they didn't know was that Onoki was doing this purely for his own face. If there is a big publicity about changing the shadow at this juncture, wouldn't we be laughed at to death by other villages? The entire ninja world knows that Obito's next target is the Iron-Willed Iwagakure, the Iron-Willed Onoki. However, at this moment, Onoki suddenly abdicated. Everyone could think that Onoki was a coward. How can Onoki put his face like this? So he wanted to keep a low profile. Because of this low profile, Obito and Orochimaru caught the wrong person. Onoki suffered this disaster when he was old. If Orochimaru had caught Kuretsuchi, it would have been a different story. Kuretsuchi was stumped by Sumishi's question. She didn't know how to answer. When Sumishi saw Kuretsuchi's appearance, he was even more certain that Onoki was put under house arrest by this rebellious Kuretsuchi. I didn't expect that the black soil would be such black soil. Looking at Kuretsuchi's curvy body, Sumaji suddenly had an evil thought in his mind. Maybe he could use this to threaten Kuretsuchi to do something. But no one noticed. Behind a group of senior executives, there were 4 more people. One was feminine and wretched, one had yellow hair, one was tall and sunny, and one was an old man. Onoki looked at Kuretsuchi who was being bullied with a gloomy expression. Orochimaru just stuck out his tongue and laughed. Seeing Orochimaru's smile, Obito became more certain in his heart that he must not let Orochimaru teach Sasuke. Then Deidara said to Onoki, "Old man, do you know why I left Iwagakure?" "It's because this village is in a mess." Onoki said, "You farted. You left Iwagakure because you wanted to have fun." Deidara was embarrassed when he was found out. He said, "Anyway, Iwagakure is a mess. Hurry up and join our Rain Shinobi village. If you do that, I might even let you call me teacher when I'm in a good mood." Onoki, disobedient and rebellious person. Deidara didn't take it seriously at all. He had been mad at this old man many times, this one was nothing. Chapter 75 Recovering Rock Shinobi. Onoki ignored this traitor and floated in front of Sumishi and coughed at him. Ahem, ahem. Suma looked at the bruised and disheveled old man in front of him, and slapped Onoki in the face. "Old man, who the hell are you? What the hell are you? Onoki was completely stunned. He kept silent in order to appear profound, but he didn't expect that this B**************** D would slap him in public. This was a humiliating thing for Onoki, who was very concerned about his reputation. After hitting him, Suma shook his wrist and said, "Old man, you are really shameless. You hurt Laozi's hand." Sumashi thought that Onoki was being held under house arrest by Kuretsuchi, so he had no doubt that this was Onoki. Onoki was shaking with anger. How dare they humiliate me like this? He tied his hair up and said slowly, "Sumashi. I gave you a high-level position in Iwagakure, not for you to disobey me." Sumashi was stunned when he heard the familiar voice. He carefully glanced at Onoki's face. Although his face was bruised, he could vaguely make out the outline of the third Tsuchikage. "Third Tsuchikage?" Sumashi exclaimed. Onoki sneered and said, "Haha, you still know my identity." Sumashima was confused. Why the hell did he just slap this old man? Onoki said, "Now, the fourth Tsuchikage of Iwagakure is Kuretsuchi. Also, Iwagakure joins Rain Shinobi Village. This is my opinion. If you are not satisfied, you are welcome to come to me." Single quote. After saying that, Onoki floated up, and he personally put the Tsuchikage's hat on Kuretsuchi. Then he said to Kuretsuchi with a meaningful look on his face, "Kuretsuchi, from now on, Iwagakure will be handed over to you. Also, joining the Rain Shinobi Village was my idea. I hope you agree." Single quote. Kuretsuchi nodded. Sumashi lowered his proud head. He dared to disobey Kuretsuchi, but he did not have the courage to disobey Onoki. This old man had been Tsuchikage for so many years. In the eyes of the ninjas in Tsuchikage village, his words were iron laws. No one dared to disobey Onoki. Even Sumashi is the same. After everything was settled, Suma Shigen wanted to leave. But the next moment, Onoki called him, "Sumashi, stay here. I have something to ask you." Sumazi felt a chill in his heart. Could it be that he was going to hold him accountable for the slap he had given him? Tsuchikage-sama is a magnanimous person, right? Sumashi came in front of Tsuchikage trembling. Although Onoki was short, he could fly, and he looked down at Sumashi. "Sumashi, how long have you been a senior executive at Iwagakure?" Sumazi was delighted. Could it be that he was going to be promoted again? He said happily, "Thanks to the kindness of Master Tsuchikage, I have been the head of the Iwagakure finance department for more than 8 years." Onoki said calmly, "It's been 8 years. In 8 years, how much money have you embezzled?" Hearing this, Sumashi felt cold all over, but the next moment he said, "Tsuchikage-sama is joking." Onoki smiled and said, "I'm not joking. You know what you did. I won't investigate you either, because I want to kill you. Then all the money we have taken from your home will be confiscated." Onoki said with a gloomy face, and at this moment, there was still a slight pain on his face. At this moment, Obito discovered that this Sumashi seemed familiar. Suddenly, Obito remembered. Many years ago, there was a battle at Kannabi Bridge. It was he who led the 3 rock shinobi Chūnin and blinded Kakashi's eye. It was him who abducted Lin. Induced what happened next. The other 3 people died, but he survived. Onoki opened his arms towards Sumashi. Dust release, original world separation technique. In an instant, a huge white box enveloped Sumashi, and before he could shout, a white light flashed inside the box. Sumashi has disappeared without a trace. Onoki's face was extremely gloomy. "How dare you hit me? Death is not a pity. ... The matter of Iwagakure came to an end. Iwagakure also successfully joined the Rain Shinobi Village. Now in the entire ninja world, in addition to the distant Cloud Shinobi Village, there is also Kurigakure on the island nation. Together with the more difficult so-called neutral country, the Iron Country, the remaining villages were all conquered by Obito. As for the country of grass, the country of soup. If these small villages have the courage to survive in the cracks of the ninja village, then let them try." Obito smiled. It seemed that Terumi-Mei was also moved by her own wisdom and bravery. Kurigakure is also within reach. The people of Cloud Shinobi Village are tough, and the Raikage has a hot temper and is the most difficult to deal with. Therefore, Cloud Shinobi Village is the toughest nut to crack. Moreover, Cloud Shinobi Village is also the most powerful village, because in the previous Ninja World Wars, the impact on Cloud Shinobi Village and Kurigakure Village was the smallest. As for the decline of Kurigakure, it was purely because of Yagura's own actions, and Obito was just slightly guiding him. Chapter 76, The Tragic Snakes. The Other Side. Kurigakure. Acting Mizukage, I'll listen to the messenger's message. What? Trading 6 tails for Mizukage? Are you sure Uchiha Obito said that? The messenger nodded. Yes, that's it. Ching was furious. This is simply murderous. He actually asked us to use 6 tails Jinchuriki to exchange for Mizukage. This is simply murderous. Then shall we switch? Ching widened his eyes. Change. Of course, why not? Single quote. Yes. Just tonight, the Anbu of Kurigakure surrounded the residence of 6 tails Jinchuriki Yugao. And the other side. The junction of Konoha and Rain Shinobi Village. A big purple snake was running away quickly. It was the 10,000 snakes. He couldn't understand why so many giant snakes came out of Raichi Cave. Was their purpose to arrest him? How can I be so shameless? Just the night before yesterday, I was sleeping when 3 giant snakes from the Raichi Cave surrounded me. If I hadn't run fast, they would have caught me. Last night, when the 10,000 snakes were drinking water, 6 giant snakes from the Raichi Cave ran out of the river. All the snakes were frightened. What the hell, what did I do? Fortunately, the fighting power of 10,000 snakes is relatively strong, as long as the top leaders of Raichi Cave and Shinya do not take action. The fighting power of Wanshi is relatively strong. He injured a big snake and escaped after breaking through the encirclement. Up to now, thousands of snakes have been running away. He didn't dare to eat a bite of food or drink a sip of water. He was afraid that if he lost his focus he would be caught by other big snakes. Manda directly expressed his incomprehension. What did he do? Didn't he just take Orochimaru and Obito to Raichi Cave? Why does it feel like the entire Raichi Cave is against me? Ahead, we reached the border of Rain Shinobi Village and Konoha Village. Wanshi was wondering, where should he go to be safer? How about going to Konoha? Forget it, Konoha is not safe. I should continue to go to Rain Shinobi Village and seek refuge with Orochimaru. Orochimaru is so kind, he will probably take me in. I am just a lonely and pitiful little snake. After thinking about it, Manshi went to Rain Shinobi Village. He planned to surrender to Orochimaru, otherwise, in this situation, 6 giant snakes would surround him and attack him just by drinking a sip of water. It would be impossible for him to live this kind of life. Arrive at Rain Shinobi Village. 10,000 snakes were starving and cold. He was thirsty and hungry, and he was eager to eat a sacrifice to satisfy his hunger. However, for some reason, no one was seen in Rain Shinobi Village today. Before coming to Rain Shinobi Village, Wanshi also did his homework. If you meet those wearing red cloud cloaks, avoid them and don't mess with them. If you encounter those with red eyes, take a detour, you can't beat them. If you meet those wearing masks, take a detour, they might be big shots. Suddenly, Wanshi saw a man. Wanshi couldn't bear it anymore and was about to starve to death. Looking at the person in front of him, Wanshi used the method of elimination. His eyes were not red, he was not wearing a red cloud cloak, and he was not wearing a mask. Eat him. The man who appeared in front of Wanshi looked like a sickly person. He was wrapped in bandages all over his body and looked very frail. He had dark circles under his eyes, which showed that he indulged in excessive sexual activities. Also, next to his head, there is a Shira ghost mask hanging, which looks quite scary, but he is just a sickly guy after all. Moreover, there was a little girl next to him, who was also very immature and had a Shira ghost mask hanging next to her head. She is so beautiful, but she looks fragile at first glance. Thousands of snakes quickly rushed towards the sickly man and the little girl. He wants to eat the sick person first, and then the little girl. Don't let anyone go. Then the next moment, all the snakes opened their huge mouths, as if they wanted to swallow the sick person in one gulp. However, the sickly man just raised his head, a red light flashed in his eyes, and his whole aura was different. The sudden change in momentum caught all the snakes off guard. Damn, this guy seems impossible to deal with. Zabuza slowly put on the Shira ghost mask, and then held the beheading knife behind him. He said softly to Bai, watch this knife carefully and learn it well. Then, Zabuza drew his sword in an instant, cut off the huge fangs of the snake, and then cut a huge gap in his body. It's so annoying, I can't afford to offend this guy, run away quickly. Then he turned and ran away without any dignity. Bai asked Zabuza, Master Zabuza, what is that? Zabuza said, it looks like Orochimaru's summoning beast. Humph, give Orochimaru some face, or I would have cut it in half with that strike just now. Zabuza continued to teach the white sword technique in the rain. He wanted Bai to accurately chop up every raindrop that was about to fall on him, in order to train his sword swinging speed and reaction speed. On the other side, at the border of Konoha. Hong was wearing a beautiful dress and she was humming a little tune happily in the forest. Because she is going to meet someone very important to her today. Suddenly, a rustling sound came from the grass. Hong looked over and saw a tall figure emerging from the bushes. It was none other than Sarutobi Asuma. Asuma asked Hong tenderly, "Hong, where are you going? Do you need me to accompany you?" Hong looked at Asuma and refused, "Sorry, I'll go get it." No comment. "Besides, I don't need you to accompany me, and we have broken up, please call me Shirahong." Asuma said to Hong excitedly, "Is there really no possibility between us? What is the relationship we had before? Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Chapter 77 Illusion Domination. Asuma looked at Hong in extreme sorrow. "What about our previous relationship?" Hong frowned impatiently. Why hadn't she noticed before that Asuma was so annoying? Compared with Shisui, it is far inferior. Why did I get together with Asuma back then? Oh, Asuma back then, his father was the third Hokage, he was honest and motivated, and he was also very competitive. He became one of the 12 ninjas who protected the daimyo very early on. Although now the name is gone. But, ever since that night when he was beaten by Obito, he has changed. Hong no longer thought about it. She glanced at the sun. The time she had agreed to meet Shisui was almost up. She couldn't be late for their first date. Hong said, "Sorry, I have something else to do. I'll leave first." Asuma wanted to grab Kurenai's hand. Red took a step back. Asuma was stunned, he looked at Hong's actions in disbelief. "Are you serious about taking a half step back?" Asuma covered his chest sadly. He shouted, "Hong, where are you going? At least tell me." Hong said to Asuma in dissatisfaction, "Who do you think you are to me? Why should I talk to you about where I'm going? Asuma, I'm your ex-boyfriend. For so many years, I have been thinking about you." Hong was speechless. How could Asuma be so mean? She wanted to leave and go on a date with Shisui, but Asuma kept pestering Hong. At this moment, a figure appeared behind Hong. He grabbed Hong's waist and held her in his arms. Seeing this scene, Asuma's eyes turned red. He looked at Hong and Shisui in disbelief. You guys." Shisui asked, "What's wrong with us?" Hong said, "I have the right to find a boyfriend." Asuma shouted loudly, "But, he is an Uchiha guy. They Uchiha are Konoha's traitorous ninjas." Shisui didn't say anything, but Hong said, "Your thinking is too backward. Now Konoha and Rain Shinobi are one. You mean, you want to start a war between the two villages? I don't agree." At this moment, a kunai suddenly appeared in Shisui's hand. Asuma saw it, but his body was unable to react quickly. Shisui immediately put the kunai on Asuma's neck. Shisui said, "As a ninja, it is not a good thing to react so slowly. Instead of being jealous, why not go back and practice your basic skills?" Asuma seemed humiliated. He quickly took out 2 brass knuckles covered with chakra knives from his waist. This is his famous skill, chakra knife. Asuma looked at Shisui warily, he wanted to prove his strength in front of Hong. He kept hacking at Shisui, Shisui kept dodging, and he kept cursing. Just at this moment, 2 Anbu on a mission passed by. They looked at each other. Isn't that Sarutobi Asuma? What is he doing? I don't know. Why is he chopping at the air? And cursing? I don't know. Let's carry out the Hokage's mission first. That's right, Asuma fell into Shisui's illusion since some time ago. He was looking at the air. After that, the 2 Anbu left. However, at this moment, Asuma caught up with the 2 Anbu with a perverted look on his face. "Uchiha Shisui, run away. Red, I'm here to save you. You can see that Shisui is no match for me." 2 Anbu, 1 rabbit mask and 1 fox mask. They turned around and saw Asuma chasing them. The rabbit mask turned around and asked, "Sarutobi Asuma, what are you crazy about?" However, in Sarutobi Asuma's view, the rabbit mask is Hong, and Hong is asking for help. "Asuma, come and save me." Asuma chased after the 2 Anbu with great enthusiasm, and the 2 Anbu and Asuma got entangled in a fight. However, no matter how weak Asuma is, he is still one of the elite Jonin and was once one of the 12 ninjas who protected the daimyo. Asuma defeated Shisui very quickly. Then he hugged Hong. He said to Hong affectionately, "Hong, after all these years, I have never forgotten you. I still love you. Let's get back together." The Anbu man in the rabbit mask was numb. Asuma clung to him tightly like a wild boar, and he couldn't run away. What the hell is he going through? The next moment, both the fox mask and the rabbit mask were numb, and Asuma pouted and began to kiss the rabbit mask. Anbu felt nauseous under the rabbit mask. Then he got mad. Sarutobi Asuma, you are too much, how dare you insult me like this? Fox Mask felt somewhat relieved that he was not experiencing this. Otherwise, I would vomit out everything I cooked last night. However, Asuma seemed to be possessed by a demon. He was extremely strong and the rabbit mask was unable to break free from Asuma's restraints. The bunny mask is about to fall apart. I am a normal man, but I am being hugged by another big and strong man, and he wants to violate me. What is this? However, Hong's struggle, in Asuma's opinion, was flirting. He looked at Hong, who was struggling in his arms. Then he put his head on Hong's face and exhaled a breath towards her. He said in a low voice, Hong, are you playing hard to get with me? The bunny mask is just plain gross. However, Asuma didn't stop there. He and Hong had been in a relationship for so many years, but they had only held hands at most. Now, wasn't it time to take it a step further? Asuma's hand wandered over the chest of the bunny-masked man. Asuma was a little bit unbelievable. Hong, you look so big, how come you have a flat chest? The bunny mask was numb and he didn't want to struggle anymore. But the next moment, the rabbit mask yelled, Asuma, I'll FK. Because, Asuma's hands began to spread. Asuma was also a little confused. Hong, how come you have Kunkin? Etc. Suddenly, the environment in front of Asuma collapsed. He discovered that the person he was hugging was not Hong, but a bunny mask. I am now holding his cow paper. Damn, the air suddenly became quiet. Asuma showed a forced smile, and asked in a low voice, I didn't do anything excessive, did I? In fact, the illusion is very easy to break as long as you find the irrationality. When Asuma found out that Hong had flat chest, although it felt unreasonable, it was not that outrageous. But even if it's red, there can't be a kun, Asuma found the flaw. It was this flaw that brought Asuma back to reality. However, the rabbit mask, who was violated by Asuma, fell directly to the ground. Under the mask, he said with determination, Sarutobi Asuma, I am not done with you. I must seek justice from the fourth generation. Single quote. Asuma said with a shy smile, this is all a misunderstanding, a misunderstanding. Misunderstood your mother, Lousy must seek justice from the fourth generation. Woo omega backquote. The rabbit mask was immediately furious. I'm just carrying out a mission, what is going on? Chapter 78 Immortality Technique. The rabbit mask is crying. Asuma was thinking, MMP. Damn Uchiha Shisui, Lousy is not done with you. However, Asuma still doesn't know when he entered into the illusion. I didn't even notice it. Shisui possesses the highest level of illusion, distinguished heavenly gods. As long as he slightly changes Asuma's thoughts and guides them, he can easily create an illusion space. But even such a simple illusion space was not discovered by Asuma. In fact, whenever you face an Uchiha, you have to be careful, whether it is reality or an illusion. Among the Uchiha guys, there are also some who are not good at illusion, such as Obito, Sasuke, and Madara. However, they are just not good at, not incapable of it. On the other hand, tonight, Hong is probably in the shape of Shisui. Shisui held an umbrella for Hong, and the two walked on the streets of Rain Shinobi Village. Hong was holding some snacks in her hands. She fed Shisui. The two of them were like a real couple. Hong asked Shisui, what happened just now? Why did Asuma suddenly cut the air? Shisui smiled slightly, it was just a trivial illusion. When did you use it? How come I didn't notice it? Hong was a little surprised. As the master of illusion in Konoha, the Yuhi clan was also very good at illusion. However, she didn't notice anything. Because Shisui's illusion level is way ahead of the rest. Shisui just smiled and didn't say much. Because, if you speak out distinguished heavenly gods, a technique for changing people's minds, it will cause suspicion in others. After all, the cautious Shisui still didn't trust Hong 100%. On the other side, Orochimaru's research institute. Orochimaru was looking at Sasuke seriously, what do you want to learn? Sasuke, teacher, what are you best at? Orochimaru pondered for a while, then smiled slightly, longevity technique. If you learn, you can live forever. Single quote. Sasuke's eyes sparkled, I want to learn. I want to learn. Orochimaru said, okay, you are my first disciple, so I will teach you. Orochimaru taught Sasuke the essentials of the technique living corpse reincarnation. Sasuke was a little confused. Is this such a disgusting technique? Orochimaru said righteously, what's disgusting? In pursuit of immortality, in pursuit of the essence of the world. These are all insignificant. Single quote. Sasuke thought about it and it seemed that what Orochimaru said made some sense. Then learn it. Living corpse reincarnation technique. At this moment, a voice sounded outside, help, help. Orochimaru, save me. Orochimaru unexpectedly came out and saw the 10,000 snakes. But, before Orochimaru could speak, Wan Qi was so scared that he lay on the ground motionless, because he felt the breath of Tianxin Shenji, a high-level official of Raichi Cave. Why did Tian Shenji come here? Is he here to catch his own? Wan Qi felt a chill in his heart. But when he looked up, he saw Orochimaru. Suddenly, he understood everything. Manchi was shaking with anger. Could it be that he was being blamed for Orochimaru? You killed Tian Shenji? Manchi asked Orochimaru. Orochimaru chuckled, hee, what, do you want to avenge him? Wan Qi paused for a moment, and finally understood a truth, he who knows the times is a wise snake. He said, good kill. Orochimaru, we have been together for so many years, now I am in trouble, please help me. Single quote. Orochimaru said, haha, sure, give me 100 snakes as sacrifice first. Man Snake was confused, because he had also asked Orochimaru for a sacrifice before. Man Snake said, are you trying to embarrass me, Man Snake? Orochimaru said, want to seek my protection. There is one more thing, that is the summoning beast who is my disciple. Single quote. Orochimaru pointed at Sasuke. Sasuke was surprised, is it me? Orochimaru chuckled, yes, Naruto has Gamma, and little Sakura has Katsuyu. What other people's disciples have, my disciples must also have. The Wan Qi is quite powerful and can barely serve as your summoning beast. Manda was not happy, Orochimaru, what do you mean? A summoning beast that wants me to be a little devil. Single quote. Orochimaru said, this is no ordinary brat. Uchiha Sasuke. He shouted. Uchiha. It's the one with red eyes. It seems like it would be a good choice to be his summoning beast. That's right, Manda gave up his moral principles again and became Sasuke's summoning beast. 3 nights later, Uchiha Fugaku called all the senior executives of Uchiha to have a dinner at his house. He had something important to say. The members this time are, Fugaku, Makoto, Itachi, Izumi, Obito, Rin, Shisui, and Sasuke. Obito brought Rin to Fugaku's home. Seeing Fugaku mumbling, Lin couldn't help but ask Obito, what's the matter, Obito? Obito held Lin's hand tightly, I don't know, we'll know soon. After a while, Sasuke also came. He looked at his home and saw so many people coming. The pretentious spirit in his heart couldn't help but burn. Sasuke said to everyone, I recently learned a new longevity technique. Itachi looked at his brother and said, Dear Odudo, let us see what longevity technique you have learned. Sasuke just lay on the ground, slurp, 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 peeling technique. Itachi was completely stunned. Chapter 79, Cool and Awesome Ninjutsu. Itachi looked at Sasuke squirming on the ground, his face full of disbelief and shock. Damn it, how come my cute and well-behaved brother has become like this? Maybe it was because it was his first time using the peeling technique, or maybe Sasuke was a little nervous with so many people watching him. He was halfway through peeling off his skin and couldn't get it off anymore. He whispered to his brother, brother, give me a hand. Itachi felt like his face had been completely rubbed by Sasuke. Fugaku came to the balcony without saying a word. He couldn't bear to see his son in such an embarrassing state. Fugaku closed his eyes and smoked a cigarette. 2. 3. Even after smoking a pack of cigarettes, Fugaku still couldn't figure out why Sasuke had become so embarrassed. On the other side, Obito slapped his forehead helplessly. Sure enough, the worrying thing happened. Itachi looked at Sasuke who was wriggling on the ground in an embarrassing manner. He got angry. It was also the first time he got angry at Sasuke. Sasuke, did you learn this technique from Orochimaru? Sasuke nodded, yeah. Itachi suppressed his anger and asked Sasuke, why did you learn this technique from Orochimaru? Sasuke said, Orochimaru-sensei told me that if I learn this technique, I can live forever. As long as you keep using this technique, you will never die. Single quote. Itachi noticed the highlight and asked in a lost tone, Hashido Madai, you said, Orochimaru teacher. What's the meaning? Sasuke said, literally, Orochimaru is my teacher. Itachi was numb. He walked out of the house slowly. He was going to knife Orochimaru. Let him see what he has taught his younger brother. Shisui chuckled and said to Izumi, Itachi doesn't lose his composure easily. Quan covered his mouth and chuckled, ha ha ha, it concerns his younger brother after all. It's reasonable for Itachi to lose his composure. But Aunt Makoto called us here, is there something going on? Single quote. Makoto forced a smile, then, putting the shocking image of Sasuke's peeling skin out of her mind, she said, I am pregnant again. Shocking statement. Fugaku is still as good as ever. Hearing this, Lin pinched Obito's waist, and Obito looked at Lin and smiled. Obito could see that Lin's eyes were full of envy. She likes children. However, Obito did not dare to give her the child. Because, now, he has become the top of the ninja world. However, as it was today, Obito had no confidence that he could resist Otsutsuki's invasion. Because, Otsutsuki is not just one person either. They are a tribe. Therefore, when the time comes, Obito, the strongest person in the ninja world, will definitely be Otsutsuki's first target. So, if Lin gets pregnant and gives birth to a child, Obito might, really not have that much time to spend with them. At least, I should wait until the threat of Otsutsuki is completely eliminated before having children. The atmosphere at this dinner was very strange. Because Itachi was not there, and Sasuke had been eating heartlessly. Sasuke is watching over Obito. You look very smart, why are you so stupid? Could it be that because life is too good, and because Sasuke is protected too well, Sasuke is not as smart as in the original book? Sure enough, a happy life can make people stupid. The original Sasuke was obsessed with revenge, and F***G revenge. At that time, Sasuke was calm, strong, and handsome. Sasuke now lives a happy life. No one dares to mess with him. In his family, his father is the leader of the Cloud Organization, in Rain Shinobi Village, his brother is Suzaku of the Akatsuki Organization, his brother's brother is Uchiha Shisui, and his brother's eldest brother is Uchiha Obito. With this kind of identity, even Uchiha Sasuke can walk all over the ninja world. So, now Sasuke. It's very naive. He's just a kid, he was easily deceived. Sasuke kept shoveling rice into his mouth. However, he was still observing everything around him. It seems that no one likes my slurp skin peeling technique. But it doesn't matter. I have another skill, it's extremely cool and awesome. If this technique is used for a while, it will not cause shock to the people around. Then there is no need to learn ninjutsu from Orochimaru. I'm going to learn from Yakushi Kabuto. I have shed my snake skin and become a dragon, this sentence is so cool. On the other side, in Orochimaru's experimental base, Orochimaru suddenly felt something was wrong. The snake's sixth sense in Sage mode was very accurate. He sensed something was not right, and this feeling came from his beloved disciple. It reminded me that the Uchiha family is going to have a party today. So Orochimaru knew everything. It must be my pretentious disciple who brought trouble to me. It was probably Itachi, or it could be Itachi with Shisui and Fugaku. A smart snake knows how to avoid danger and seek good fortune, so Orochimaru said to Yakushi Kabuto, Kabuto, let's retreat. Kabuto looked at Orochimaru with a confused look on his face. Orochimaru-sama, where are we going? Orochimaru stuck out his tongue, and then said, let's go to the experimental base in Odogakure village to avoid the limelight first. When the storm has passed, we will come back. Single quote. Yakushi Kabuto looked at Orochimaru respectfully, yes, Master Orochimaru. Then, the two of them looked at each other at the same time. They both turned around and turned into big fat snakes. The big fat snake that Orochimaru transforms into is black and purple, while the fat snake that Yakushi Kabuto transforms into is more tender, white and yellow. The two snakes left here together carrying important information. They just left. The Itachi came angrily afterward. However, Itachi was destined to return empty-handed. Because Orochimaru and Yakushi Kabuto had already run away. It was hard for Itachi to swallow this insult, but did Itachi have any other way to destroy the base? Don't joke, this base is the crystallization of the wisdom of the entire Akatsuki, and Rain Shinobi. Itachi doesn't want to become a big sinner. So, unable to find Orochimaru, Itachi had to return empty-handed. Return to your home. They have all finished their meal. Makoto said to Itachi, Itachi, come and eat something. Itachi nodded. He sat down, then picked up a glass of water and just drank it. But Sasuke started to act up again. He said proudly to everyone, I also learned a super cool and awesome ninjutsu. Do you want to see it? Dot 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 dot. Dot 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 dot. Chapter 80 A Back View. Itachi instinctively stopped Sasuke, stop doing anything weird. Sasuke made an okay gesture and said, don't worry, brother. This technique of mine is definitely not some skin peeling technique. It's absolutely super cool. Itachi glanced at Sasuke in confusion. Then he nodded and said, okay, let's perform. Sasuke said, it's too late to perform here. Come with me outside and I'll show you a show. Sasuke's mysterious behavior attracted everyone's attention. Even Obito became interested. Oh, Orochimaru has some cool and handsome techniques, why don't I know about them? It's interesting, go check it out. On a rainy night, a group of Uchiha tribesmen, holding umbrellas, looked at Sasuke who was ready to go in the middle. Sasuke bit his finger quickly. The next moment, he shouted, summoning technique, 10,000 snakes. Bang! A burst of white smoke flashed by, and thousands of ferocious snakes roared in all directions. Hiss! Ah! However, when Wanshi saw the people around him clearly, he was confused. Who are these people? Why are there so many red eyes? And the guy wearing the red cloud cloak, and the guy wearing the Shira ghost mask. Just after being slashed by Zabuza, Manchi classified the guy, wearing the Shira ghost mask, as one of the targets that should not be provoked. However, Manchi was stunned when he saw the group of Uchiha. All red eyes, how can I play? That's right, Sasuke's super cool and awesome technique is summoning 10,000 snakes. Before coming, Sasuke specifically reminded Manchi, you must be very handsome and scare my family members. Wanshi said, it's okay, leave it to me. Look at how I make my handsome debut. However, halfway through his appearance, Manchi became discouraged because he saw Obito in the crowd. The scene of being taught a lesson by the four-tailed beasts is still vivid in my mind. So, Manchi gets scared when he sees Obito. Itachi watched this scene, shaking with anger. You learned this from Orochimaru. Sasuke said proudly, well, isn't it handsome? Can't thousands of snakes subdue you? So big. Wanshi was so scared when he heard Sasuke's words, my little ancestor, stop talking now. If you keep talking, I will say goodbye to you. Sasuke then asked, aren't you afraid of seeing thousands of snakes? Wanshi was so scared that his soul almost flew away. Dad, I called you dad, can you please stop talking? Which of these people can I afford to offend? Red eyes, red cloud robe, Shira ghost face. If this is the bath of the third level of 10,000 snakes fear, then the bath of the group of people in front of me is completely filled up. Obito took Lin's hand in boredom and returned to the room. Summoning 10,000 snakes. So boring. Do you think it is so scared that it dares not move? Sasuke was very unwilling. Because in my opinion, these are two extremely handsome techniques, why do people dislike them? This made it difficult for Sasuke's young heart, which loved to show off, to be satisfied. And after everyone left, Shisui put his arm around Sasuke's shoulders. Sasuke, how about I kill the snake? Hearing Shisui's words, Wanshi trembled with fear. Sasuke frowned, why? Shisui said, because, ding ding ding. I prepared a crow that was passed down from the Uchiha family for you. After saying that, a shiny crow climbed onto Shisui's shoulder. Sasuke said disappointedly, that's it, not as good as my manja. Wanshi, dad, my dear dad, with your words, my life is saved. Shisui said, you really don't know what's good. Our Uchiha family's combat methods are all light and agile, and Sharingan can be used with crow to its greatest effect. Sasuke, no, Manja-sama. Shisui, but, I have raised this crow for a long time. If you don't want it, who should I give it to? Sasuke, give it to Obito-sama. I've never seen him use the summoning technique. Anyway, I don't want it, Manja-sama. Manja, fortunately, lousy is handsome. You have never seen Obito use the summoning technique, that's because he doesn't need to. He can just shout and call out four-tailed beasts. Who can withstand that? And the other side, Lin smiled and said, I think that snake is pretty cool. Three tails, am I not handsome? Lin, ah, of course you are handsome too. Obito asked, Lin, are you talking to Three Tails? Lin nodded, yes, Xiao-san has been very well behaved recently. Obito asked, do you want to take out 3 tails? Lin said, do you need it? If you do, just take it out. Obito jokingly asked Dowlin, but, if the Jinchuriki is taken out of the tailed beast, they will die. Aren't you afraid? Lin smiled slightly, she hugged Obito's arm and said with a smile, because it's you, I'm not afraid. Obito patted Lin's head lovingly and said, forget it, let 3 tails stay in you for now. It's kind of useful. Single quote. There was a slight flash of disappointment in Lin's eyes, because when Obito was not with her, Lin often went to Konoha to play with Minato and Kushina. Kushina once revealed one thing, that is, it is very difficult for Jinchuriki to get pregnant. This surprised Lin greatly. No wonder there was no sign of pregnancy in her belly for such a long time. It turned out to be you, 3 tails. But, Lin will not disobey Obito. No matter what decision Obito made, Lin supported it. Because, back then, when Lin was at her most desperate, it was Obito, wearing a long dark blue robe and holding an Uchiha fan. It was Obito who came to save himself. He is able to become the enemy of the entire Konoha just for himself. Who can not love such a person? The Uchiha family's family gathering ended abruptly. Because of Sasuke. Itachi was very unhappy, and Fugaku should be unhappy too. For Fugaku, he has developed his big account, Itachi, and ruined his small account, Sasuke, so he created a new small account. Makoto and Fugaku are still young anyway. They have the time. There are too few people in the Uchiha family, and they have another goal, which is to make the Uchiha family flourish. And the other side. Anbu from Cloud Shinobi Village quietly came to Rain Shinobi Village. There was no mark of identity on them, nothing that could prove they were from Cloud Shinobi Village. Even when they use ninjutsu, they don't know how to use lightning-style ninjutsu. They are just the death warriors raised by Cloud Shinobi Village. The goal this time is to assassinate Nohara Rin. Because according to Cloud Shinobi's various intelligence, Nohara Rin is Obito's weak spot. As long as he is killed, Obito will definitely lose his composure. However, when the assassins just stepped into Rain Shinobi Village, they saw a figure standing alone on the land of Rain Shinobi Village, letting the rain drip on his body. In his right hand, he held a huge round fan with a strange shape. Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audiobook to stay updated with our latest stories, and never miss out on a great listen.